in our face and tell us that we got something to do with his shenanigans. He's a goddamn pocket a fucking B-movie actor guy. Come on the scene. Him and Netanyahu and the weeping widow with the blonde hair and the blue eyes, pushing their programs and vilifying us. Oh, we should not call Gus. Let the ambassador come for Gus and cuss for the rest of us.
What's going on, y'all?
All right,
you guys are full.
Hello. Check 1, check 2. I'm going to
please
play.
allow me to end what I'm saying, please. If you don't mind.
Please,
The
Len.
vilification of black people is what's going on by Trump and Netanyahu. And I land my plane on that
All right.
facts.
Are you guys
Patty,
so
I'm gonna-
I say my.
This has been 2 hours of just whatever.
George Diner, the Republican Illinois kingmaker,
All right.
is taking
I'm
too
gonna
many
play the
Pfizer
pastor.
vaccines and attacks candidate Congressman
okay
John
with Patty.
Kitover.
So the first video I'm going to play is going to be Pastor Brian. After Pastor Brian, I'm going to play another pastor that also agrees with Pastor Brian. And then the third pastor I'm going to I'm going to play is the pastor that disagrees with Brian and the other pastor. So that's what I'm going to play. All right, so this first one is Pastor Brian's service from this past Sunday.
All of these Negro preachers who've been, in fact, talking about that this man that was killed was the answer to Christ in the earth. Y'all ain't saying that they having moments of silence in black churches all over the country over a man that was racist and a white supremacist. How dare you compare him to Martin Luther King? It's the only thing that Charlie Chris and Martin Luther King got in common is both of them was killed by a white man. After that, they got nothing else in common. I'm concerned about all of these Negro.
All right, so that's Pastor Brian.
You couldn't have given that 30 more seconds.
It was only 30 seconds.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was gonna replay. It was gonna play again. Okay, so that was Pastor Brian. Now I'm going to play the other pastor that agrees with Brian.
This is why black people got attitudes in this country.
Hold on.
Be assassinated.
Yeah, I don't get it. Like, let's move forward.
Charlie Kirk did not deserve to be assassinated.
Mass shootings, that's what he shot.
But I'm overwhelmed seeing the flags of the United States of America and hashtag calling this nation to honor and venerate a man who was an unapologetic racist and spent all of his life sowing seeds of division and hate into this land. And hearing people with selective rage who were mad about Charlie Kirk but didn't give a damn about Melissa Hortman and her husband when they were shot down in their home, tell me I ought to have compassion for the death of a man who had no respect for my own life. I am sorry, but there's nowhere in Bible where we are taught to honor evil. And how you die does not redeem how you lived. You do not become a hero in your death when you are a weapon of the enemy in your life. I can abhor the violence that took your life, but I don't have to celebrate how you chose to live. I am overwhelmed.
Okay. Now I'm going to play the response from the pastor in Chicago. And then I'm going to play Pastor Brian's response right back to him. Hold on. Hold on.
over a man that was racist and a white supremacist.
This is it. He just started it off with this. He basically started off with the two pastors.
No, we cannot be silent about the idolatry and the racism that is going on in the black church. And Jamal Bryant is one of the biggest goofies behind a pulpit. Just because you sitting there hooping and hollering, I said, God, that don't mean it's anointed. That don't mean it's spirit filled. This is the same dude that went to the gay church with two gay men as pastors and acknowledged them as the first gentleman. How y'all still listening to this man like he led by the Spirit and everything he do go against the Bible? I'll tell you why. Because y'all put culture over kingdom and there's idolatry in the black church. Hey, my sis said it best. She said, don't be so pro-black you become anti-Christ. That is the problem. Show me the tape, Jamal. Take the tape of Charlie Kirk being racist and post it on your platform. Because y'all keep running with this narrative. Y'all got a lot to say. Show me the tape. I done looked at every video where they said this man was being racist, and I looked at the clip in context. Find the tape, Jamal. Find the tape. Post it on your page, and let's talk about it. You a goofy, bro. You a clown, bro. You a wolf, and you misleading the people. And you know how you do it? Because of the hurt, because of the trauma in the black community. Yes, a lot of evil things happen. Yes, there is some racism. Yes, what happened back in the day was slavery. And through the civil rights movement, it was awful. But some of you black pastors, you making our people be victims. You teaching the opposite of what the Bible says because you the real racist. And some of y'all make money, right, by keeping our people down. And they looking and they put all their hope, Esther. What y'all really, man? Think of it, bro. Show me the tapes. Show me the tapes. Stop making the claims if you don't got the tapes.
Who is that? Who is that?
So this is, his name is Marcus Rogers. Child of the King is his Instagram, but he is a pastor in Chicago. Not sure what church he.
Racism in context. I love it.
So now he wanted Pastor Brian to show him the proof that this young man is racist. So Pastor Brian responds. One moment. Let me just get that last video. Okay, so he responded 16 hours ago.
So much has been said over the last couple of days in reference to the murder of Charlie Kirk, suggesting that this is the signal that Christendom is going forward. It is a very poor misrepresentation. We are against violence in all of its forms, and what took place in Utah was absolutely heinous. But yet, it still does not dismiss. In spite of how he died, it doesn't erase how it is that he lived. I don't want to be taken out of context, but I want to ask you, in his own words, is this the voice of Christendom and the church?
For these blacks trying to go rob her, happening all the time in urban America. Prowling blacks go around for fun to go target white people. That's a fact. Black crime is a major issue in our country. Why are you pushing criminal justice reform? Joy Reid and Michelle Obama and Sheila Jackson Lee and Ketanji Brown Jackson, they're coming out and they're saying, I'm only here because of affirmative action. Yeah, we know. You do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously. You had to go steal a white person's slot to go be taken somewhat seriously. Now, the southern border is, of course, the great replacement. They're trying to replace us demographically. They're trying to make the country less white. It is an anti-white agenda. If I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified. America was at its peak when we halted immigration for 40 years and we dropped our foreign-born percentage to its lowest level ever. I do think that there is a direct correlation between someone's testosterone and their politics. On young men, the lower their testosterone, the more likely they are to be Democratic. When blacks in America did not have the same rights they had today, they were less murderous, there was less break-ins. Why is that?
So I'm sorry, are you trying to say that blacks thrive under subjugation?
No, I'm saying I'm asking you the question. The data shows they were actually better in the 1940s. It was bad, it was evil, but what happened? Something changed.
So much has been.
And that is the end, guys.
Yep, exactly what I was saying earlier. And guess what? They did the other thing again. They did that other thing again. You're racist for pointing out his racism. It never ends. It just never.
So nothing new under the sun, right? So Malcolm, and I've heard the speech, but I'm gonna mess it up or whatever. But basically talking about the house Negro and the field Negro. So you heard that in those clips. So the dude, like they say, live in the master's house, eats the master's food. It's like he loves his master. And so when his master gets sick, he like, we sick? It's like if the house burns down, he'll like kill himself trying to save the master's house. While the field nigga don't get to eat that food. He don't love the master. He want to see the master dead. And it's like if the master house burned down, I'm fucking gonna throw like gasoline and like wood on it. And I'm sorry for anybody that knows the speech because I'm butchering the shit, but you get the gist of it. But literally, that's all I heard. Malcolm literally talked about all of this stuff in a lot of his speeches. Even like when you get these people, like this guy on Fox News that got caught out there looking crazy as fuck. When the guy dropped the comment about like voluntary lethal injection or involuntary lethal injections for the homeless, that brother, if y'all saw that clip, he was on there talking about, well, if they don't take the programs, then they just need to go to jail. They can either take the government assistance or they can go to jail. So it's like, so that dude, that's like the dude that they put out there. They find like some Negro or whatever, some dumb Negro that they can prop up to put out their agenda, hoping that other Negroes will listen to this Negro or whatever. It's like this shit, nothing new under the sun. So just go back and listen to some Malcolm. It do your soul good, especially in the times we're living in now. I would really recommend go do that. And it's like, and I know Louis Farrakhan gets a bad take a lot of things, but go back and watch some of his stuff on Phil Donahue. It's a bunch of clips out there when he was on talk shows back in the 80s. Minister Farrakhan, as far as the times that we're living in wartime, y'all need to go back and listen to some generals. So I recommend Malcolm X and Farrakhan for y'all, and I'll land on it.
I want to talk about this. You would think that the shooter was black. I mean, I know it became a topic about race to a certain degree, but the shooter was not black. So us talking about he was racist, that's not why he got shot. It was something way different than that, which is why I don't really understand black people celebrating it, not just because it could bring unnecessary heat towards us, but also it's like we always looking for some symbolic victory instead of going and getting real victories. It's not a victory that some white man shot a white man. So I don't really get the victory lap that a lot of black people take.
Jason, if I may, when you have two sides of something and one particular side is constantly blaming the other side, yet the atrocities are coming from within. When you are being blamed for something you did not do and the atrocities are coming from people that they are standing next to, people tend to celebrate that because you're worrying the enemy is under your nose, not across the street from you. And so that's one reason. The second reason, so for me, what I don't see being discussed about is the fact that this man was killed by another young white man in Utah, of all of, that's the best place in white America, only because the side of that he represented on the far right believed that Charlie Kirk wasn't racist enough. They thought that Charlie Kirk wasn't. They thought Yeah, I don't know the word you put it, but they thought he wasn't racist enough. The real conversation here needs to be how the Groypers and whatever they have going on are trying to cause a civil war because the current state of conservatism isn't strong enough for them. That's the conversation that needs to be had here. Never mind the fact that black people are celebrating somebody who was eliminated for their rhetoric. The conversation needs to be how they are assassinating one another because they don't think that they are extreme enough.
He seemed, I mean, from all the quotes I read and all the stuff they even just played in the clip, he seemed racist enough to me. You don't think
Once again, Jason, that's not Jason. You would think that because you don't have the mentality of a Gorper, nor do you have the mentality of a white man. For somebody who is generationally racist, you will think that this current state of conservatism, while you as a black man is OD enough. You have other white men deeper in middle America saying, hey, this level of conservatism still is not enough for me today. I still need more racism in it today. People are very agitated because 6 months in, they have not seen enough deportations. People are agitated because 6 months in, their president is saying, hey, we just signed a deal with China to bring more Chinese students over here. And his voter base is saying, that's not what we voted for. We voted for them to get out, not for them to come in. Pardon?
What could he have done to be more racist, you think?
I'm not what you're missing is there's another subsector of people, of white men who feel that Charlie Kirk was not racist enough. You have to go do your research on Nick Fuentes and the Groypers to understand that.
Hey, let me just say one, because CEO brought up a point to, like, I can't see on stage, but like the brother that's speaking, what CEO talked about, he said that Charlie Kirk was going to talk to black youth. That in itself
he hosted an annual conference for black youth.
Thank you, CEO. Thank you. So that in itself, Jason, like for your hardcores, like your mud people, your troglodytes, the one that like don't want to mix anything with us, they don't want you even doing nothing with black people. So to that point, like he wasn't racist enough for some of these people. Can you see that?
I can see that because I'm just kind of learning about him. So if he's doing all this stuff for black people that y'all fan, I can see that. But at the same time, it's still like, if there's this metric for racism and he's not meeting it because he's doing a few things it seems like it would be a lot more white on white crime about this that we would see. But not only that, y'all don't think it could have been anything else?
Why? No, because the people that have done it are.
You think it was about black people?
Why are you twisting yourself into a pretzel trying to excuse what is obvious?
But not only is obvious.
That a white man killed a white man.
He's asking questions. He is always asking questions.
Jason, it's not necessarily for us. Like that's why I keep telling you to go back and look into Nick Fuentes in the Gorper group, because it's not necessarily about black Americans. The Groper agenda for white America, in their eyes, Charlie Kirk's agenda for white America was still not white enough.
I think the job is that the righteous would check the wicked at this particular hour, but on that strength, this could all be fake news anyhow. Someone said they spotted this joker somewhere. So we should not be in the middle. That's the thing that I want to say more than anything, that don't play ourselves to the middle, but be on the side of righteousness for righteousness' sake, and check the wicked in the midst of their peculiar brand of iniquity, their capitalistic imperialism and communism and capitalistic.
Bro,
don't for the money. They in it for the money and the power, and don't let them ventilate on our soil. It's my land, my street, and we should check them. And the peculiar
people still saying they seen Elvis. We seen that man get
killed.
Saying him. Well, Miss, you just said
he
one
is the
thing.
producer of fake news.
Let's say one thing so Miss, you mentioned something about Utah being the whitest or the most racist or something like that. I'm not in love with the Mormons, but they gotta get some credit for actually not being that way. Like if you look at their voting pattern with Trump, Utah, only 45% voted for Trump in 2016. Like Trump's numbers are way lower than they were for any of the other Republican presidents. So they actually were the opposite in terms of that. So I have a hard time with you saying
I didn't call unless someone else mentioned Utah. I didn't call Utah racist. I said that was the middle of white America. That's white utopia. That's what I said.
I haven't heard anybody
Yeah, I don't
call
think
Utah
it would be
racist either.
I don't think. But the way the utopia thing, I think that's what I'm referencing.
Yeah. When I say white utopia, so listen to the context of the conversation, because when I say white utopia and we're talking about people who want to be amongst other white people, you tell me the populist breakdown of white Americans to others in Utah compared to the rest of the country. That's what I was talking about.
Their doctrine is the doctrine that the state was founded on was.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, Utah's not in the top 10 for whitest. Just FYI, it's not.
It just don't make total sense to me, because let's say he helped you black people did a convention or whatever. It's still a net negative with all the things he said, like policies he feels should be pushed, saying we should be better off in slavery and stuff like that. It seemed like even if he did speak at a few black conventions, that the net outcome is negative towards black people still, even if he did a few nice things.
Yeah, and Utah's number 12 for whiteness. So
let me address that, please. Like, so Jace, to this point, he's a racist. He was a piece of shit racist. We're talking about racist. This shit don't make sense. We got nothing to do with this. Literally, we had nothing to do with this motherfucker being killed. We're just talking about that. Like, I've heard other people say. So I'm taking when America catch a cold. When white people catch a cold, we catch the flu or whatever. We get COVID and shit. I'm saying the fact that this shit is getting put on us, we literally have nothing to do with this shit. And I can't think of the lady's name on satellite radio. A caller called in and was like a white man talking about Maxine Waters this and something, and she like read the motherfucker for filth or whatever. Just be like basically don't bring us into this shit. We have nothing to do. We're literally just talking because we're in a black space and we know how this shit. The radical left, the fact that HBCUs, a white man kills another white man, and HBCUs got credible fucking threats about, like, this one dude. I heard this shit. I don't know if Coach read that shit out. It's like these credible threats literally had nothing to do with that. So Jason, to that point, we're just talking about over there on that side that, like, Nick Fuentes and the Groypers are saying that this motherfucker Charlie Kirk, that he wasn't hardcore enough for them. That has shit to do with us. So, like, just don't you like. I feel like you conflating it. Like you're bringing it over here. That has nothing to do with us. We're just talking about what's going on over there. It's like watching a movie.
I just want to clarify something real quick. I know there was some. You were saying CEO was talking about Utah being the 12th whitest, but if you actually do the study of where black people live, Utah is in the top 5 of the least likely place for black people to live. Only topped by Wyoming, Wyoming, Idaho, and maybe Montana. Black people, specifically. And I think that's what the speaker was referring to.
No, see, I'm glad you said that, because that is a perfect example of people using statistics and numbers and putting them to make their point, right? And that's what Charlie would do a lot of times.
Yeah.
But let me, I wish I knew who you was. I'd give you, like, the emoji credit on here, but I'm giving it to you. Fisco.
Lisa, Michael was talking. I just wanted to respond to Lisa real quick. Lisa, Michael was talking about Lisa Kitover.
I already know.
Okay.
I put it in the chat. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, the issue, though, is, again, I pointed out where they stood on Trump in terms of the presidential election. They've a lot lower for Trump than they did in the past or any other Republican case. So I think you've got to provide some credit for that.
No, not really, because their politics isn't the issue. The speaker was when she mentioned white utopia, it was white people living around white people, and there is a Hispanic population in Utah that can be white passing. The point is that black people, by and large, only represent 0.1% of the population. Black people don't live there, and the point that she was making by calling it a white utopia is white people that want to live around other white people. All of those people didn't even vote for Trump. So there's no reference that all of those people voted for Trump. Just like somebody else said, some of those people don't think that Trump was extreme or alt-right leaning enough. That's not the point. The point she was making is Utah is a place where people who want to live around all white people and don't want to deal with black people, that's a
Live in
great
Utah
place.
because they're Mormons. They were Mormons. That is why they are there.
Yeah, but Mormon.
Like,
But that's the only point she was making.
But
You're
it's
finding
a disingenuous point. It's a disingenuous point.
It's not.
Did my phone crash? Oh my god, my phone crashed. Holy shit. Just couldn't take it anymore. Intense. We have had a cellular defeat. Went down without a treat. Too bad. It was just getting good. We're at 150 signatures. We're at 150 signatures. Oh, this is the donation link. 150. Any, oh, even $1. Gets us one signature. Even $1 of support gets us one signature back for. Veteran. That's 13. Katie Jensen was raped.
Unemployment security. Just had a few quick questions about a recent unemployment claim. My callback number is 618-241-6713. Thank you very much for your time today. Good morning. My name is Bryce with the Illinois Department of Employment Security. Just had a few quick questions about a recent unemployment claim. My callback number is 618-241-6713. Thank you very much for your time today. morning. My name is Bryce with the Illinois Department of Employment Security. Just have a few quick questions about a recent unemployment claim. My callback number is 618-241-6713. Thank you very much for your time today.
Derek.
Calling your Illinois Department of Employment Security. Please listen carefully. Your menu options have changed. Go online and be paid on time at www.ides.illinois.gov. File for unemployment insurance, choose direct deposit, and certify for benefits. It's safe, fast, and easy at www.ides.illinois.gov. Use IllinoisJobLink.com to find a job and help meet your work search requirements to be eligible for benefits. IllinoisJobLink.com is the state's Help Wanted job board. It's also the state's no-cost HR recruitment tool. Post your resume, Help Wanted ads, and help meet your work search requirements at www.IllinoisJobLink.com. If you have a question about your direct deposit debit cards, including your reset of your PIN, lost or stolen card, or change of address, call claimant services at 800-244-5631. That's 800-244-5631. You also can certify for benefits with TeleServe at 312-338-4337. This is available 5 a.m. to 7:30 p.m. Monday through Friday. Your employment office is open from 8:30 a.m. to 5 o'clock p.m. Monday through Friday. It is closed on state holidays. Service is always available at www.ides.illinois.gov. If you are calling about direct deposit or debit card issues in the reset of your PIN, to report a lost or stolen card, or to report a change of address, please hang up and call Payment Services at 1-800-244-5631. For all other issues, please listen closely to the following menu. Our options have changed. For all questions about your unemployment claim, press 1. For assistance finding a job or placing a job order in Illinois Jobs Link, press 2. To repeat this menu, press star.
It's the worst service.
I do not recognize that as a valid entry. For all questions about your unemployment claim, press 1. For assistance with finding. Thank you for calling the Illinois Department of Employment Security. As part of our customer service improvement plan, all unemployment insurance-related calls are now being handled by our claimant services center, which can be reached by hanging up and dialing 800-244-5631. Please note this new number for the future. We apologize for any inconvenience and hope you have a great day.
That's it. It's like getting unemployment insurance in Illinois is insane. It's a runaround. If you don't get that call, if you don't pick up that call, you're screwed. But our primary phone for Clubhouse Anonymous has croaked, so we're facing some technical difficulties here at the show right now. It's unfortunate. We do have other Clubhouse accounts, so what we'll do is we will just go to a public room. This phone doesn't have it. This phone doesn't have it.
I take a stance. You ask me a question, correct? And now we're going.
Stuff like that probably leads. It probably comes out of fear.
The framework in which we're exchanging right now. Do you agree?
Hey, Sphinx, I just want to quickly say something before you go on your tangent and rant. Listen, what Israel's doing is not a genocide. I'll tell you what the real genocide is. Yesterday,
I didn't mention genocide.
I know, yesterday I was walking in New York. I know I'm almost done. Yesterday I was walking in New York, and I saw these very Indian-looking men, but they all spoke Arabic. That means they're from the Gulf Arab countries, okay?
Potentially.
These people conquered the entire and colonized the entire Middle East, okay, and genocided us for 1,500 years in a row. We were genocided for 1,500 years by these Arabs in a row. So what Israel is doing is decolonizing, and it's not. And what Israel is doing is a crumb compared to the vast murders of these Arab Gulfies. Okay, when I saw them, I just saw them. I was in sheer anger. And they have my people under mind control right now, all the Egyptians who think that they're holy people because Muhammad came to the region. And so they're like, yeah, we're so happy they colonized us. We love that they conquered us and killed us for 1,500 years, you know? So it's time to have payback and retribution, and Israel's going to hand it to them.
The Coptics will rise again, I'm sure.
Thank you, my brother. And it's not even just about us, man. I was in such sheer anger seeing these Khalijis, bro. I'm like, yo, these are the ones that conquered us? You gotta be kidding, man. I was infuriated looking at these people, man.
Well, it wasn't those guys, but maybe their great-grandfathers, but probably not them, right?
No, they still conquer us till this day, bro. What are you talking about?
By the way, somebody in the chat sent me a private message, and there's a link there. Who sent me this?
Me.
Even
Okay. I'm not the type of guy who likes to click on links if it's not safely detected. What's the nature of that link?
No problem.
What was
I'll tell you. It's an account on X which exposes the Palestinian lies. Like Bibi said, that new restaurants are open every day.
Okay.
And things like
Thanks
that.
for the parenthesis. I might check it later. If you allow me, I was going to go back to what I was going to say before the two people wanted to say something before. As I said earlier, I consider myself to be a pretty smart guy. And what I do is I do not make assumptions. I don't think I said anything that was a lie, and I asked you guys to either confirm or debunk what I brought as evidence. I never spoke about starvation. The only two links I brought was two elements. Which one was there are multiple children that are imprisoned because they threw rocks at a tank. Maybe you agree with this?
Let me ask you a question. If you throw rocks at a police car in Montreal, are you gonna get arrested?
I don't think a kid would go in prison for 2 years for threatening. Do you agree with me? It's important the framing. Now, the frame you bring is
if children in Montreal throw rocks at a police car, do you not believe they're going to be detained?
You see, you're framing the question differently now.
No, I'm not. It's a government vehicle.
I'm giving you my answer. I don't think a kid.
Let me frame it for him. Let me give him a nice legal reference. Okay.
If you want, but
okay.
Meanwhile, can I keep going?
In the event,
One second.
in the event, a minor.
Hakshia, she is a mod. So sorry, Sphinx.
In the event, a minor tosses a projectile at either a police officer. Was that your question? A police officer?
It was not a
tank. He said throwing rocks at a tank.
So
which is basically also framing.
If a minor takes a projectile and throws it at either a civilian or someone in the military in the United States, what do you think is going to happen to them?
I don't think a kid is going to be in prison 3 years in a
You know
military.
what happens in the United States when a juvenile throws a projectile at someone in the military or at
As
a
you
civilian?
saw, I never interrupt anybody who was speaking, and I think I've been respectful throughout. And this was not my point. There are multiple
Asking the
interruptions.
question, no, just answer a
No,
direct
it was
question.
not.
What do you
It
think
was not a.
happens under the
It
law
was
of the
not a
United
question.
States? What do you think happens?
My answer
Direct
is,
question.
I said it again. A kid wouldn't be in a military prison for 3 years.
What, you know what
Throwing a rock
happens?
at a
They
tank.
go to juvie. If
Yeah,
it's under
not
state
military-
law,
not
and they
military
stay in
prison.
juvie, they stay in juvie for quite some time.
Yeah, the framing is not the same.
It's a longer period usually in juvie.
But it wouldn't
They don't
be a
just-
prison, a military prison. It's very different.
Have you ever been to juvie in the United States?
Thank God, no.
Have you ever viewed or seen juvie in different states? And remember that there's 50 states with various different juvies. So have you ever seen it?
Some videos I've seen. Yeah.
Also, what does it matter? Every state, every country has its own laws, has its own legal protocols.
But
As
the
to how to
thing
handle
is, I
certain
got interrupted
situations.
twice, and you guys don't even know where I was going to go.
And one of the issues is that Hamas and various other terror groups use children as terrorists, right, to disguise
My
their
approach
adults.
is more constructive. If you allow me to complete, as you've seen, I never came across as being threatful or aggressive. If you allow me, please, because interruption.
Fair enough. Go ahead. You got the mic. Fair enough. You're right. Go ahead.
So as I was describing myself, my hyper focus is in a humanist point of view, and this is how wisdom should be applied throughout the world. So Israel is a very special case because it's so rich in different cultures, and then there are multiple political layers. So the ultra-Orthodox Jews, they have their own pressure on the system, and I understand why, because without them, Netanyahu wouldn't be there anymore. There's the settlers that are being victimized on both ends. So Jewish settlers and Jewish Arabs farmers, etc. Now, if we are wise about it, because at the end of the day, somebody, let's say an alien spaceship is watching the planet and they're neutrally analyzing the situation, what would they do? They would do it mathematically. So all the different dimensions, you don't make amalgam. I don't know how you say amalgam in English, but mixing everything together, this is the approach when you want to manipulate people. What I do, I have a scientific approach. So I want every dimensions to be laid out on one table, a round table where all the actors are surrounded, hopefully with good intentions. Right now, there's violence. The Arabs are immature in their approach of fixing the issue or trying to get support, because what I get from videos on YouTube is they tried multiple approaches. I'm not saying, when I say I'm talking about specific individuals or little groups, because of course I don't have omnivision and omniscience of the situation. I look at it scientifically with a humanist perspective. The best approach is to bring as many people with good intentions and not focusing on aggravating the situation. Starvation, most likely there are places where Palestinians are starving. It's good when everybody goes on the same plane, and instead of debunking, oh, you're a liar or a liar, going the other way around. How can we make it more peaceful? And bringing the wisdom and intelligence of all the different actors to bring it forward. Right now,
you should have said that earlier, bro. I know how we can do that.
I tried.
Okay, I have the answer. I have the answer. I have the answer so quick for you. I wish you would have said that earlier.
I tried.
Okay, all they have to do is release the hostages and unarm Hamas, and that's it. Simple.
I don't know how honest you are. I will
I'm extremely. I am so honest
Believe me, my heart is crying out because it's such an honest answer. Release the hostages, unarm Hamas.
You know, can I say Can I say 2 sentences to Sphinx? Hi, Sphinx. In order to have a solution, you need to first analyze what is the problem. Okay. That's the human beings that take leadership. Because right now, people rely on the system, and we know it's not going to work. You missed my point. You are kind of moving forward to a solution, which is great. But and you're saying like smart people, they will come up with like magical solution, but not magical, but engineering peace and a just approach. Yeah, I understand. But in order for you to find a solution for everybody to live in peace, you need to first of all identify what is the problem, why there is no peace. And I'm not sure that there's one major, like a few at least, that are peace blockers. No, everything with Israel is more complex. Nothing is simple, but it's a matter of all laying the different dimensions. I didn't say it's simple. I didn't say it's simple. I said you need to, you like talking about having an analytical like mindset. And what approach? What I'm saying, in order to find a solution, even if you're a doctor, if you want to give a medicine, you don't start with like the medicine, you start with diagnosis. Okay, first step is diagnosis of what is the problem, what is wrong, what is not working. Okay, after you have this, that's one of the major forces that is justice. You know what I'm talking about? No. A lot of Palestinians. Okay, let's simplify the situation. Okay, I will ignore the Jews for now. Let's just take the average perspective. Just so you know, it's not Jews. It's Israel. Israel is about 80% Jewish, or even less, and the rest are Muslims and Christians. Okay, also Muslims in the IDF. Israel I will reformulate. Let's take non-Palestinians out of the presentation for now, because you have to divide the different actors.
I knew somebody would boom that.
That might be true. Without God and higher ideals, institutions will collapse. False.
Those type of values that you promote. I'm glad to hear that. I actually agree with many of your conservative takes. Thank you. I disagree with some as well. That's just because I think for myself. We agree on a lot. We disagree on some. I can say this, that we both want a country based on merit, and I think we should keep that as our ultimate goal and purpose. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
I don't know, bro. Like, I think bro held his own.
You know, we would take too much time, so let's instead of putting too much weight on this, let's see how I'm going to bring the things. Okay, so let's consider that Palestinians don't feel justice. Now there's a problem. It's going to be I don't know how you say that in English. Like it's like political repercussion. In French, we say so there are instances that are going to take over a potential power that they have. So people don't feel justice, so they will say, I will take care of it. Then you will have multiple different approaches. One will be the PLA, one will be the Hamas, one will be little ghetto gang members, etc. Others will be immature kids throwing rocks at a tank, thinking this is going to change anything, etc., etc., etc. Now this become a potential for whoever is in power, because let's be honest, Israel is in top dogs in the world on how to leverage and strategize. Do you agree with me?
We do what we need to do. I don't know if we're a top dog, but we did what we do and we need to do.
You're a pretty top dog. So
AI, satellite reconnaissance, having spies in every country, having intelligence in every country, making bonds with all the powerful other resources in the world, having I forgot what's the word, controlling the politics in the states. I'm sorry, I'm listening.
You need to understand they yes they killed so many Palestinians.
Sir, hold on 1 second. Sir, hold on 1 second, okay? Hold on.
Well, let me land. Well,
No, he's in the middle of. We are in the middle of something.
I go silent.
Okay, so wait. No, but we're in the middle of a conversation. Sir, hold on with a new story. Okay?
Alongside his conversation, because now he's making it seems that
we are talking about identifying. We are talking about identifying the problem.
I know.
And what makes it impossible to be fixed right now? That's what I was laying out layer by layer. I'm listening.
Between civilians and soldiers, Palestinians killed around 20,000 Israelis. You know what I mean? So they're hurt.
What you're saying right now is we're focusing on one detail, so nothing is going to be fixed because
I get it, but they are hurt.
No, hold on. Hold on. You're just derailing the conversation. Hold on your turn, and we can listen to you. But Sphinx was in the middle of going somewhere else. I understand you want to go take us somewhere else, so just hold on, okay? I'm trying to understand from Sphinx.
The key element for me, I have the impression, I don't think I have a solution to everything, but at the minimum, I think this would be a good leverage. So being able to take position and addressing this leverage of, since they don't feel justice, even if they release the hostages, even if this, that, nothing is going to change. We have over 60 years of history proving that my point. So the key element seen on the Palestinian side seems to be they don't feel justice.
But Sphinx, I need to stop you because again, I asked you a question and you're answering with repeating my question. My question was, what is the problem? Why do they feel injustice? Because you're saying they feel unjust, but they can always feel unjust. There are many people also in the United States that are.
I'm going to drop you, bro. If you keep interrupting.
Hold on 1 second.
You can be part of the convo. Stop interrupting.
Listen, also in the United States, there are people that feel that they don't have justice, and then they turn and they blow someone's head. I mean, the feeling
what you're doing
that someone
right now
has
is just making this conversation worthless because now we're going to change. Instead of focusing on the mechanics.
Please stop. Please. No. I'm not going to example. I'm telling you that an individual feeling that someone has, or that he was told that there is injustice.
Go on.
I'm listening to you without interruption, and I'm trying to you were stopping me 3 times in one sentence. So again, you're talking about that they feel that there is injustice, and because of this, they act upon this feeling of injustice. But I'm asking you, my original question was, what is the problem between Israel and Palestinians? And then you were talking about them feeling unjust. So I'm asking you, what is the injustice? Why do they feel that there is injustice done for them? I want to go down with you. You said you have an analytical perspective. So let's analyze, a title of someone feeling unjust. We should be very careful with saying, he felt that he was treated badly, so he just went and shot someone, or he went and he killed someone, or he went and he raped someone, that is not a way to solve anything. Why do they feel unjust? Or let me ask you this, what will make them feel that justice has been done?
Hey, Bima!
I know the answer, okay? I'm just trying for you to find the
master. Be master. Be master. Yo, Be master, why don't you come up and say hello? It's been a while. Hope you're doing well. I know we have absolutely different political and economic opinions, but, even though I may have differing opinions, I enjoy speaking with you. And I think a lot of people do. And I think people like the way you sound. I think that's one of your attractive qualities. So this is Israel and Palestine debate starring you. Yes, I am leeching off the room. This is Safe for Jews Debunking Paleo Lies and Propaganda in BB's room. I was kicked out of the room. So, whenever somebody kicks me out of the room, guess what I do, Bima? I go right back in and anonymous. Good good afternoon and welcome to the show, Bima.
I think that's great. So, what did you say before you got kicked out, or did you not get a chance to say anything?
Well, I was talking about how this all resembles a dance and the spiral nebulae, and let the partners find themselves, but let's, do it gracefully and peacefully. No more violence. That's what I was saying, and then shortly thereafter, I was kicked out.
So it sounds like you support no violence. Wow. See, that could be construed as an anti-Semite.
Well, see, I'm literally just doing neurolinguistics. I'm not actually on a battlefront, and I'm not in any political power or military power. So, oh, hey, Sasha, welcome to the room. This is Israel and Palestine debate starring you. Love to have you as a speaker here, Sasha. So that's what I was mentioning, that, for all of our sakes, we should be using our words wisely and efficiently and, limited amounts of words because time is limited. And so I'm just always trying to stress the positive and use positive words. I don't want to listen to some deranged loser on this app who I know very well, and I know their situation in life, and I know their criminal history in life. I don't want. I don't need to take wisdom from people like that. I can, open a book, and I'd rather go straight to the source. So, Bima, I hate to tell you, but I'm in a book club, you know? I'd like to talk about books because everything else is really just political. So I choose to, maybe that's how I choose to be political. But anyways, that's all I'm saying.
I love it. What book club? I used to. Do you remember that website called like Meetup.com?
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to go to like book clubs, the meetups. It was really fun. But what type of book club? Online book club, and what are you reading?
So my book club is a special book club which has rules that many other book clubs don't have. The first rule is we read books to each other in 10-minute increments. And that's all of our rules. It's the only rule we have in our book club. That's it. So, without further ado, Bima, I'd like to read a book to you. What do you say?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, I'll give you three choices. The first choice is Star in the West. The second choice is Meditations. And the third choice is Tao Te Ching.
We already read the last, so let's do the first or the second.
Star in the West? No, this is your choice.
One or two.
This is your choice. You can hear Marcus Aurelius' Meditations, or you can hear Star in the West, or Tao Te Ching by Lao Tzu. You choose. It's your choice what you listen to.
Okay, let's do Meditations.
Okie dokie. We're going about where we left off. This is book 5, chapter 9. So I like to say that this is, sacred chanting or hymning. So just or meditation, take the deepest breath of the day. Hold it for 10 seconds. Let it go. This is the 9th verse in book 5. Be not disgusted, nor discouraged, nor dissatisfied. If thou dost not succeed in doing everything according to right principles, but when thou hast failed, return back again, and be content if the greater part of what thou doest is consistent with man's nature, and love this to which thou returnest, and do not return to philosophy as if she were a master, but act like those who have sore eyes and apply a bit of sponge and egg, or another applies a plaster, or drenching with water. For thus thou wilt not fail to obey reason, and thou wilt repose in it. And remember that philosophy requires only the things which thy nature requires, but thou wouldst have something else which is not according to nature. It may be objected, why, what is more agreeable than this which I am doing? But is not this the very reason why pleasure deceives us? And consider if magnanimity, freedom, simplicity, equanimity, piety are not more agreeable. For what is more agreeable than wisdom itself? When thou thinkest of the security and the happy course of all things which depend on the faculty of understanding and knowledge, so you can see philosophy is a little bit outside of politics. It's still in politics, but it's almost, I think it's its own category with its own proper noun, philosophy. So you just heard a sample from Marcus Aurelius's Meditations. And it's, it's transcendent, it's transformative, it's intelligent, and I hope you enjoyed that, Bimo. This has been my book club. Do you have a book you would like to read from, Bima?
That's so much fun. I'm not in a position to go grab a book, but yeah, I can be prepared next time.
Okay, great. Well, next time, just remember that all my rooms are clickbait titles because all I'm actually doing is the book club.
Very cool. That sounds really awesome. Thank you.
Okay, I give you your regularly scheduled programming. BB talking endlessly.
Why is this happening?
Daniel, too.
Maybe it's happening, and maybe you don't know, but from the beginning of this year, 2025, which we did not finish yet, there have been more than 1,000 terroristic attempts from Judea and Samaria on Israel. More than 1,000. That's more than 3 per day. You understand what I'm saying? And because they are promoting terrorism, and because they are promoting this mindset of there is injustice done, so go and murder Jews, we have to put those blockades to make sure that the people that are moving to Israel or to Jewish cities within Judea and Samaria don't plan to blow up. And unfortunately, it is needed because it's happening every single day.
Daniel,
you don't want to have choke points? Great.
Do you agree with me, Daniel? Do you agree with me that one of the intentions of the Israeli government is to isolate the Arabs and hopefully have them removed? Do you agree with this?
I would agree with you with a bit more nuance. I think that what you're missing is that Judea and Samaria is what is called disputed land. Okay? It's disputed. They say it's theirs, we say it's ours. And right now, it's disputed. This is the situation. Now, there's the situation, de jure and de facto, meaning what is going on the ground and what is like the legal status. And both sides try to make facts on the ground. Jews, you even call them settlers. When it's Palestinians that build a new neighborhood, you call them farmers, okay? The problem with your framing that by the fact that it's a Jew that is this settlement in Judea and Samaria, it's wrong, it's bad intentions, it's meant to drive out the Palestinians out. When they do it, it's 100% legitimate. You know that, for example, there's this story now in Hollywood, a movie called No Other Land. I don't know if you heard about it. It won some
You're
Oscars.
very welcome to share a link if you have.
I don't have a link. I have the name of the movie. It's called No Other Land. It's in movies. I don't have a link because you need to pay a ticket to see it. But it's called No Other Land, and it shows like how the Israeli military goes and destroys buildings in Judea and Samaria. And you will say, oh my God, horrible. What you don't know is that those people in Masriate, which is the movie, they claim that this land is theirs. They went to the Supreme Court in Israel. They laid out all their evidence. For 20 years, there were discussions about this specific case. And the court, when they started the case, they said no one is building anything until we decide whose land is it. We cannot freeze the situation.
Can you repeat the name of the video you're talking about?
No other land.
Okay, you keep going, I'm listening.
Alexa, stop. So for 20 years, there was a Supreme Court deliberation regarding this area, Masriate.
It's rare
so
to find
Israel brought the evidence, the Palestinians brought
When the show's called Life Kit, that's kind of the whole point. I'm Nariel Segaga. 3 times a week on the Life Kit podcast, we guide you through a topic we could all use help with, from personal development to healthy living to managing your dinero, with takeaways so you can start living what you learn right away. Escucha el Life Kit podcast from NPR.
Darren LaHood is a rhino, or Republican in name only, according to one of his Republican primary opponents. John Kitover calls himself a carpetbagger. He lives in Chicago, but he's running in a congressional district that includes central and northwestern Illinois. Kitover considers himself a MAGA candidate. He tells WGLT student reporter Ben Howell that he's running in the 16th district against the Peoria area Republican he says is not conservative enough.
Our country is $37 trillion in debt. I'm 42 years old. I'm here on a college campus with young people who are taking out loans to go to university, to get jobs so they can have an undergraduate degree. And so essentially we have to fight these rhinos. I know it's cliche, but Darren LaHood is indeed a rhino. He's been in office 10 years, creating $2 trillion a year in debt. So it's really going to take patriotic Americans who can recognize the financial crisis that we're in, that are going to stand with Thomas Massey, Rand Paul, and other fiscal conservatives against individuals like Darren LaHood.
On your website, it had said, direct quote, defeat Darren LaHood, the rhino vaccinologist that sold your future to your never-ending taxation. Could you break that down for me? What do you mean by that?
We have $37 trillion in funded debt and $100 trillion in unfunded debt liabilities. So with the big beautiful bill, Darren has given over $500 billion a year in tax credits to the biggest Fortune 500 corporations: Apple, Microsoft, Google, Pfizer, Moderna, J&J, Verizon, Comcast, etc. So on the back end, Darren LaHood is borrowing your future and sticking you with debt and taxes, not today, but in the future.
Another one, a couple more, also from your website. He's a traitor to the Second Amendment, you say. How so?
He wants to raise the minimum age in order to purchase a firearm in this country. And it's my belief that this may sound rather controversial, but firearms, not only are they for self-defense and our own security in our homes, but it's to prevent tyrannical government from usurping your rights and enslaving you and making your life miserable, in the same way that our founding fathers fought the king, who were eating out our substance and destroying our livelihoods in this country, in the same way that Darren LaHood and his group of cronies in Congress and in the Senate are doing.
And also, again, from your website, it said that he lied about COVID-19. What about that?
So Darren LaHood voted yay on every COVID act there was, totaling over $5 trillion that he created out of thin air with the rest of Congress. It's my belief that Dr. Bill Gates, Dr. Fauci, the World Health Organization, as well as the Pentagon, created Operation Warp Speed, but also the Wuhan facility and that viral research. So the government is responsible for funding and creating COVID-19. And unfortunately, he lied to his constituents, because you can go to Zach's accounts and you can view all his posts about get vaccinated or this pandemic will never end. Get vaccinated or you can never go back to work.
With that, with some of the bigger party politics, for the most part in his voting record, LaHood has had a lockstep vote with the party. Do your criticisms of him expand to the rest of the Republican Party?
Absolutely. It is a uniparty at this point. Whether the Democrats or the Republicans are in party, they're going to keep spending over $2 trillion a year that we don't collect in taxes. We collect $5 trillion a year in taxes. We're spending $7.1 to $7.3 trillion a year. Darren LaHood, the Republicans, and the Democrats are borrowing on your behalf without any of your say-so.
LaHood's held the seat since 2015, but of course he's been a congressman for a little before that. And even just last in 2024, he had no challengers in that election. So some would go to say that your campaign's a long shot. Do you agree with that assessment?
Absolutely, it's a long shot. I have crowdfunded only $1,000 from social audio apps. Darren LaHood has over $10 million sitting in his bank account from Pfizer, Moderna, Blue Cross, Caterpillar. Every major corporation in the world has given to Darren because Darren keeps giving them $2 trillion a year. He's been in office 10 years, and if we're creating over $2 trillion a year in debt, Darren has created $20 trillion in debt by voting yay on HR Acts.
Since he's the incumbent, he's got not just like that cash advantage, like you've said, he's got the name recognition, he's been here for a while. How do you try to familiarize yourself across the district and to voters against a strong incumbent? What's your strategy for that?
It's really put out as much
Hello?
John Kitover.
Yes, this is John.
Quick questions about the recent unemployment claim. If you had a moment this afternoon, sir.
Hey, good afternoon, Dill. Yeah, let's do it. I'm free.
For verification purposes, can I have you identify the last four digits of your social security number, please?
Sure, 6126.
Right. And your date of birth, please, sir.
11682.
The reason I was calling today was just wanted to make sure about any updated information or last day's work that might need to be added to the claim. Right now we have the last day of work at May 2nd, 2024.
Yes, that's the paperwork I received from the IRS. And so I also, wanted to get the administrative law hearing because I had filed a lawsuit against the IRS, an EEO complaint. And that EEO complaint has been investigated, and I have all the paperwork that I need to submit because I was physically threatened that I'd be punched in the throat if I returned to work, and I was also sexually harassed. So that's all in the complaint. But I did file the appeal on Illinois, on the website, but I didn't ever get a response from the submission that I made. So I may have done it wrong, or I didn't have the right number. I'm not sure how or why I haven't heard back from that appeal, but.
Let me double check right now. I'll have for you, sir.
I had gotten a call from a young lady and she had given me like some reference numbers, but I had lost that when I hit the appeal button and submitted the files.
I apologize. I do see what you call it, the document that you're speaking about. I don't see any work attached to it right now, though.
I do have updated documents because I just had to send in a 40-page document back to the IRS and to the civil rights attorneys there. So I do have another document to send that I'd like to submit when I, can actually schedule and get an administrative law hearing.
That's what I needed. If it's okay with you, I'll go ahead and I'll put a work on this appeal right here, and I'll get your claim put through today, just so we make sure somebody's looking at that appeal for this claim. And then any additional information that you're submitting, just exactly like you have been in the ECF. It appears that there has been some kind of an issue as far as whenever it was submitted that the work was not followed. And so that does seem to be the issue right now. The trace numbers would help, but I'm going to add an extra additional work to it and just put it from there, if that's okay with you today.
Okay, yeah, great. Thank you.
I do apologize for that. Is there anything I could hope to answer, though, other than that for you today, sir?
Is it possible for you to help me schedule the hearing to get the administrative law judge to hear the case and to notify the employers so they can be present?
Yes, sir. That's actually what I'm going to do right now. I'm just going to, well, what I'm actually going to do is just send the information on to an adjudicator who will schedule the hearing for you.
Okay.
And you'll be received letter by mail.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you so much then. I guess I don't really have any other questions for you.
Well, I do appreciate your time today, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. God bless. Take care. Bye-bye.
Really put out as much content as I can, get out and meet as many voters as I can. I was just at Starbucks. I was getting signatures on petitions. I've never been to Illinois State before. But really the way to fight Darren LaHood is with transparency and actually accurately describing the situation.
That was Republican primary candidate John Kitover speaking with WGLT student reporter Ben Howell. Garth Golett of Chillicothe is also running for the Republican nomination against LaHood. 3 Democrats are also in the race: Scott Best, Brendan Morgan, and Paul Noley. The primary election is next March.
It's rare to find a podcast that can actually change your life. But when the show's called Life Kit, that's kind of the whole point. I'm Marielle Segato. 3 times a week on the Life Kit podcast, we guide you through a topic we could all use help with, from personal development to healthy living to managing your dinero, with takeaways so you can start living what you learn right away. Escucha el Life Kit podcast from NPR.
I don't think tariffs are good for the economy.
I will turn over every rock.
It's rare to find a podcast that can actually change your life. But when the show's called Life Kit, that's kind of the whole point. I'm Marielle Segato. 3 times a week on the Life Kit podcast, we guide you through a topic we could all use help with, from personal development to healthy living to managing your dinero, with takeaways so you can start living what you learn right away. Escucha el Life Kit podcast from NPR.
Darren LaHood is a rhino, or Republican in name only, according to one of his Republican primary opponents. John Kitover calls himself a carpetbagger. He lives in Chicago, but he's running in a congressional district that includes central and northwestern Illinois. Kitover considers himself a MAGA candidate. He tells WGLT student reporter Ben Howell that he's running in the 16th district against the Peoria area Republican he says is not conservative enough.
Our country is $37 trillion in debt. I'm 42 years old. I'm here on a college campus with young people who are taking out loans to go to university, to get jobs so they can have an undergraduate degree. And so essentially we have to fight these rhinos. I know it's cliche, but Darren LaHood is indeed a rhino. He's been in office 10 years, creating $2 trillion a year in debt. So it's really going to take patriotic Americans who can recognize the financial crisis that we're in, that are going to stand with Thomas Massie, Rand Paul, and other fiscal conservatives against individuals like Darren LaHood.
On your website, it had said, direct quote, defeat Darren LaHood, the rhino vaccinologist that sold your future to your never-ending taxation. Could you break that down for me? What do you mean by that?
We have $37 trillion in funded debt and $100 trillion in unfunded debt liabilities. So with the big beautiful bill, Darren has given over $500 billion a year in tax credits to the biggest Fortune 500 corporations: Apple, Microsoft, Google, Pfizer, Moderna, J&J, Verizon, Comcast, etc. So on the back end, Darren LaHood is borrowing your future and sticking you with debt and taxes, not today, but in the future.
Another one, a couple more, also from your website. He's a traitor to the Second Amendment, you say. How so?
He wants to raise the minimum age in order to purchase a firearm in this country. And it's my belief that this may sound rather controversial, but firearms, not only are they for self-defense and our own security in our homes, but it's to prevent tyrannical government from usurping your rights and enslaving you and making your life miserable, in the same way that our founding fathers fought the king, who were eating out our substance and destroying our livelihoods in this country, in the same way that Darren LaHood and his group of cronies in Congress and in the Senate are doing.
And also, again, from your website, it said that he lied about COVID-19. What about that?
So Darren LaHood voted yay on every COVID act there was, totaling over $5 trillion that he created out of thin air with the rest of Congress. It's my belief that Dr. Bill Gates, Dr. Fauci, the World Health Organization, as well as the Pentagon, created Operation Warp Speed, but also the Wuhan facility and that viral research. So the government is responsible for funding and creating COVID-19. And unfortunately, he lied to his constituents, because you can go to his X accounts and you can view all his posts about get vaccinated or this pandemic will never end. Get vaccinated or you can never go back to work.
With that, with some of the bigger party politics, for the most part in his voting record, LaHood has had a lockstep vote with the party. Do your criticisms of him expand to the rest of the Republican Party?
Absolutely. It is a unit party at this point. Whether the Democrats or the Republicans are in party, they're going to keep spending over $2 trillion a year that we don't collect in taxes. We collect $5 trillion a year in taxes. We're spending $7.1 to $7.3 trillion a year. Darren LaHood, the Republicans, and the Democrats are borrowing on your behalf without any of your say-so.
LaHood's held the seat since 2015, but of course he's been a congressman for a little before that. And even just last in 2024, he had no challengers in that election. So some would go to say that your campaign's a long shot. Do you agree with that assessment?
Absolutely, it's a long shot. I have crowdfunded only $1,000 from social audio apps. Darren LaHood has over $10 million sitting in his bank account from Pfizer, Moderna, Blue Cross, Caterpillar. Every major corporation in the world has given to Darren because Darren keeps giving them $2 trillion a year. He's been in office 10 years, and if we're creating over $2 trillion a year in debt, Darren has created $20 trillion in debt by voting yay on HR acts.
Since he's the incumbent, he's got not just like that cash advantage, like you've said, he's got the name recognition, he's been here for a while. How do you try to familiarize yourself across the district and to voters against a strong incumbent? What's your strategy for that?
It's really put out as much content as I can, get out and meet as many voters as I can. I was just at Starbucks, I was getting signatures on petitions. I've never been to Illinois State before. But really the way to fight Darren LaHood is with transparency and actually accurately describing the situation.
That was Republican primary candidate John Kitover speaking with WGLT student reporter Ben Howell. Garth Golett of Chillicothe is also running for the Republican nomination against LaHood. 3 Democrats are also in the race: Scott Best, Brendan Morgan, and Paul Noley. Primary election is next March.
I was literally laughing when he kept doing that right jab, and he a southpaw. But when he kept doing that little playful jab, like pow, 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 and making Canelo upset,
those hurt. And he's an awkward southpaw. Like, everything about him is just street. Like, it's not really refined.
Yeah, he whoops ass. And then there was a lot of hits taken.
It was a lot.
Canelo, you're gonna be blue tomorrow, bro.
Canelo gonna sit on you and try to make that big ass punch, right? But you're not gonna get it with him. Canelo just sat. Like, ooh, I'm gonna get you. Nah.
He was trying to dodge them long arms.
Mel, we'll stop when you're ready.
Sorry.
Oh no, I'm done. If you don't want to see the actual video,
I thought you had a clip.
oh no,
Let me.
it's just
Did you put it in the chat?
I put both of them in the chat. So one is a news article, and then the other one is the Instagram clip. But this was in Colorado on August 30th.
George Dinard.
What happened?
Officer shot a black man. He was 37 years old. I believe his son was next to him. He did drop the gun, so he didn't have the gun on him. And officer swung at him. You're gonna see like 2 times. Then the guy was squaring up with the officer, and that's when he shot him multiple times and killed him.
It's rare to find a podcast that can actually change your life. But when the show's called Life Kit, that's kind of the whole point. I'm Marielle Segaga. 3 times a week on the Life Kit podcast, we guide you through a topic we could all use help with, from personal development to healthy living to managing your dinero, with takeaways so you can start living what you learn right away. Escucha el Life Kit podcast from NPR.
Civilians, no need for killing civilians. Try to
that for you, we the people, we have to kick these card mortgage debt junkies out of government. They're destroying your future.
It's
now.
rare
They're
to find a
destroying
podcast that can actually change your life. But when the show's called Life Kit, that's kind of the whole point. I'm Mariel Segaga. 3 times a week on the Life Kit podcast, we guide you through a topic we could all use help with, from personal development to healthy living to managing your dinero, with takeaways so you can start living what you learn right away. Escucha el Life Kit podcast from NPR.
Darren LaHood is a rhino, or Republican in name only, according to one of his Republican primary opponents. John Kitover calls himself a carpetbagger. He lives in Chicago, but he's running in a congressional district that includes central and northwestern Illinois. Kitover considers himself a MAGA candidate. He tells WGLT student reporter Ben Howell that he's running in the 16th district against the Peoria area Republican he says is not conservative enough.
Our country is $37 trillion in debt. I'm 42 years old. I'm here on a college campus with young people who are taking out loans to go to university, to get jobs so they can have an undergraduate degree. And so essentially we have to fight these rhinos. I know it's cliche, but Darren LaHood is indeed a rhino. He's been in office 10 years, creating $2 trillion a year in debt. So it's really going to take patriotic Americans who can recognize the financial crisis that we're in, that are going to stand with Thomas Massey, Rand Paul, and other fiscal conservatives against individuals like Darren LaHood.
On your website, it had said, direct quote, defeat Darren LaHood, the rhino vaccinologist that sold your future to your never-ending taxation. Could you break that down for me? What do you mean by that?
We have $37 trillion in funded debt and $100 trillion in unfunded debt liabilities. So with the big beautiful bill, Darren has given over $500 billion a year in tax credits to the biggest Fortune 500 corporations: Apple, Microsoft, Google, Pfizer, Moderna, J&J, Verizon, Comcast, etc. So on the back end, Darren LaHood is borrowing your future and sticking you with debt and taxes, not today, but in the future.
Another one, a couple more, also from your website. He's a traitor to the Second Amendment, you say. How so?
He wants to raise the minimum age in order to purchase a firearm in this country. And it's my belief that this may sound rather controversial, but firearms, not only are they for self-defense and our own security in our homes, but it's to prevent tyrannical government from usurping your rights and enslaving you and making your life miserable, in the same way that our founding fathers fought the king, who were eating out our substance and destroying our livelihoods in this country, in the same way that Darren LaHood and his group of cronies in Congress and in the Senate are doing.
And also, again, from your website, it said that he lied about COVID-19. What about that?
So Darren LaHood voted yay on every COVID act there was, totaling over $5 trillion that he created out of thin air with the rest of Congress. It's my belief that Dr. Bill Gates, Dr. Fauci, the World Health Organization, as well as the Pentagon, created Operation Warp Speed, but also the Wuhan facility and that viral research. So the government is responsible for funding and creating COVID-19. And unfortunately, he lied to his constituents, because you can go to his X accounts and you can view all his posts about get vaccinated or this pandemic will never end. Vaccinated or you can never go back to work.
With that, with some of the bigger party politics, for the most part in his voting record, LaHood has had a lockstep vote with the party. Do your criticisms of him expand to the rest of the Republican Party?
Absolutely. It is a unit party at this point. Whether the Democrats or the Republicans are in party, they're going to keep spending over $2 trillion a year that we collect in taxes. We collect $5 trillion a year in taxes. We're spending $7.1 to $7.3 trillion a year. Darren LaHood, the Republicans, and the Democrats are borrowing on your behalf without any of your say-so.
LaHood's held the seat since 2015, but of course he's been a congressman for a little before that. And even just last in 2024, he had no challengers in that election. So some would go to say that your campaign's a long shot. Do you agree with that assessment?
Absolutely, it's a long shot. I have crowdfunded only $1,000 from social audio apps. Darren LaHood has over $10 million sitting in his bank account from Pfizer, Moderna, Blue Cross, Caterpillar. Every major corporation in the world has given to Darren because Darren keeps giving them $2 trillion a year. He's been in office 10 years, and if we're creating over $2 trillion a year in debt, Darren has created $20 trillion in debt by voting yay on HR Acts.
Since he's the incumbent, he's got not just like that cash advantage, like you've said, he's got the name recognition, he's been here for a while. How do you try to familiarize yourself across the district and to voters against a strong incumbent? What's your strategy for that?
It's really put out as much content as I can, get out and meet as many voters as I can. I was just at Starbucks, I was getting signatures on petitions. I've never been to Illinois State before. But really the way to fight Darren LaHood is with transparency and actually accurately describing the situation.
That was Republican primary candidate John Kitover speaking with WGLT student reporter Ben Howell. Garth Gullett of Chillicothe is
crazy ass fan base to like come attack them, I think would be damaged.
Yeah, he did
right?
that to a few professors at Johns Hopkins, and he.
Yeah, my friend works at Georgetown Law, and he did that to him. So somebody's like, what damage?
And they were getting
clear.
death threats. They had to take down their publishing because their families were receiving death threats and being stalked. So it was a long watch list that Charlie Kirk had created with their information on there. So like, yeah, I mean, I don't know what this person really is talking about.
Emotional damage.
Democrats, liberals, LGBTQ.
If we can tie this back to arresting Netanyahu and Trump, I'm all for it.
Why does everything go back to like Israel?
That's what I'm saying. I'm so like I'm not
always goes back to Israel. Like,
It goes back to Netanyahu though specifically.
I just don't understand, like, why all of a sudden in 2025, everybody is in this uproar about Israel. Like, this shit has been going on for. No, hold on.
They just found out about it.
Yeah, we just found out about it. You're right. It's virtue signaling. Yeah, and also it's like they never talk about the connections, Israel has to the DRC. They never mention that, and that bothers me so much because I'm like, if you truly care about genocide, if you truly care about atrocities happening to people, then why don't you ever talk about what is happening in Africa, what Israel is doing to Africa, and other nations have been doing in Africa? Like, I
could be talking about whether you. I could be talking about whether you prefer drums or flats, and they say Israel. Like, bitch, what? God, like what?
No, you don't know the root. Like you because you talk about this. Israel, that shit started in 1948. Are you? That long ago. Yeah. Yes. Okay. It's longer. You alive. And you trying to circle shit back to Charlie Kirk's murder. What I find offensive is that you come in a room of another group of marginalized people and you keep trying to force us to care about your whatever your plight is. You're not even black, and then you keep doing this. I don't get this. It's very disrespectful. We never want to talk about it.
Well, that's pathetic.
So listen.
No, it's not. No, it's not. It's not pathetic. Hold on, because this always happens with him. It's not pathetic. People like you gotta stop doing that. Like,
I'm Mariel Segaga. 3 times a week on the Life Kit podcast, we guide you through a topic we could all use help with, from personal development to healthy living to managing your dinero, with takeaways so you can start living what you learn right away. Escucha el Life Kit podcast from NPR.
Darren LaHood is a rhino or Republican in name only, according to one of his Republican primary opponents. John Kitover calls himself a carpetbagger. He lives in Chicago, but he's running in a congressional district that includes central and northwestern Illinois. Kitover considers himself a MAGA candidate. He tells WGLT student reporter Ben Howell that he's running in the 16th district against the Peoria area Republican he says is not conservative enough.
Our country is $37 trillion in debt. I'm 42 years old. I'm here on a college campus with young people who are taking out loans to go to university, to get jobs so they can have an undergraduate degree. And so essentially we have to fight these rhinos. I know it's cliche, but Darren LaHood is indeed a rhino. He's been in office 10 years, creating $2 trillion a year in debt. So it's really going to take patriotic Americans who can recognize the financial crisis that we're in, that are going to stand with Thomas Massey, Rand Paul, and other fiscal conservatives against individuals like Darren LaHood.
On your website, it had said, direct quote, defeat Darren LaHood, the rhino vaccinologist that sold your future to your never-ending taxation. Could you break that down for me? What do you mean by that?
We have $37 trillion in funded debt and $100 trillion in unfunded debt liabilities. So with the big beautiful bill, Darren has given over $500 billion a year in tax credits to the biggest Fortune 500 corporations: Apple, Microsoft, Google, Pfizer, Moderna, J&J, Verizon, Comcast, etc. So on the back end, Darren LaHood is borrowing your future and sticking you with debt and taxes, not today, but in the future.
Another one, a couple more, also from your website. He's a traitor to the Second Amendment, you say. How so?
He wants to raise the minimum age in order to purchase a firearm in this country. And it's my belief that this may sound rather controversial, but firearms, not only are they for self-defense and our own security in our homes, but it's to prevent tyrannical government from usurping your rights and enslaving you and making your life miserable, in the same way that our founding fathers fought the king, who were eating out our substance and destroying our livelihoods in this country, in the same way that Darren LaHood and his group of cronies in Congress and in the Senate are doing.
And also, again, from your website, it said that he lied about COVID-19. What about that?
So Darren LaHood voted yay on every COVID act there was, totaling over $1 trillion that he created out of thin air with the rest of Congress. It's my belief that Dr. Bill Gates, Dr. Fauci, the World Health Organization, as well as the Pentagon, created Operation Warp Speed, but also the Wuhan facility and that viral research. So the government is responsible for funding and creating COVID-19. Unfortunately, he lied to his constituents, because you can go to Zach's accounts and you can view all his posts about get vaccinated or this pandemic will never end. Get vaccinated or you can never go back to work.
With that, with some of the bigger party politics, for the most part in his voting record, LaHood has had a lockstep vote with the party. Do your criticisms of him expand to the rest of the Republican Party?
Absolutely. It is a uniparty at this point. Whether the Democrats or the Republicans are in party, they're going to keep spending over $2 trillion a year that we don't collect in taxes. We collect $5 trillion a year in taxes. We are spending $7.1 to $7.3 trillion a year. Darren LaHood, the Republicans, and the Democrats are borrowing on your behalf without any of your say-so.
LaHood's held the seat since 2015, but of course he's been a congressman for a little before that. And even just last in 2024, he had no challengers in that election. So some would go to say that your campaign's a long shot. Do you agree with that assessment?
Absolutely, it's a long shot. I have crowdfunded only $1,000 from social audio apps. Darren LaHood has over $10 million sitting in his bank account from Pfizer, Moderna, Blue Cross, Caterpillar. Every major corporation in the world has given to Darren because Darren keeps giving them $2 trillion a year. He's been in office 10 years, and if we're creating over $2 trillion a year in debt, Darren has created $20 trillion in debt by voting yay on HR acts.
Since he's the incumbent, he's got not just like that cash advantage, like you've said, he's got the name recognition, he's been here for a while. How do you try to familiarize yourself across the district and to voters against a strong incumbent? What's your strategy for that?
It's really put out as much content as I can, get out and meet as many voters as I can. I was just at Starbucks. I was getting signatures on petitions. I've never been to Illinois State before. But really the way to fight Darren LaHood is with transparency and actually accurately describing the situation.
That was Republican primary candidate John Kitover speaking with WGLT student reporter Ben Howell. Garth Golett of Chillicothe is also running for the Republican nomination against LaHood. 3 Democrats are also in the race: Scott Best, Brendan Morgan, and Paul Noley. The primary election is next March.
It's rare to find a podcast that can actually change your life. But when the show's called Life Kit, that's kind of the whole point. I'm Marielle Segato. 3 times a week on the Life Kit podcast, we guide you through a topic we could all use help with, from personal development to healthy living to managing your human.
Drew Daniel, English professor at Hopkins, on the list, recalled receiving similarly abusive messages. He was placed on the watch list after he signed a letter that condemned the horrific ongoing violence, quote, the horrific ongoing violence inflicted on the Palestinian people. Turning Point website labels Daniel a quote-unquote terror supporter and an anti-Semite. Soon after he was added to the list, Daniel, who was raised in a mixed Jewish household, started getting abusive emails and messages from people.
Okay, I think I'm done.
Okay. This is pretty much the I can stop here.
Yeah. Dun.
Oh, you're not talking to me, are you, Lisa?
Oh, sorry.
Okay. Okay, let me just finish. It's almost over. So this is the quote from Daniel. Quote, I got to see firsthand a new wave of hostility towards academia as a sector. Charlie Kirk represented a smiling face that seemed to be open for debate, but in terms of the effects on someone like a professor, the watch list is much closer to the legacy of someone like Joe McCarthy. And then they just explained who Joe McCarthy is. You know, McCarthyism, communist watch list, 1950s. Daniel said he's grown increasingly worried about being surveilled while teaching, which he said would be a, quote, betrayal of the kind of trust and intimacy that takes place in the classroom. Because he's tenured and at a private university, Daniel's not as worried about losing his job. But he has friends who teach at public colleges, especially in Republican-led states, he said, who have become more cautious about what they teach, and this is the final quote. Charlie Kirk's legacy is empowering classroom surveillance and encouraging young people to harass professors that they disagree with. I don't see Charlie Kirk's actions with the professor watch list as at all consistent with a belief in free speech. That's it.
I agree 100% as one who's been a college professor and has taught college. It's okay to have students debate when you're debating. I taught software and science. One is debating about a principle, a mathematical principle or an algorithm or something like that. But this Kirk individual who dropped out of junior college does not have the capacity to debate with an actual professor of any substance.
No, with fact, no.
Yeah, the outside of throwing rocks and then leveraging his whole white so-called Christian nationalism, which there's no such thing that exists. That's something they made up. It's a continuation. I said this last week. In the 1950s and 60s, my parents taught me, and I researched it. There was a group called the White National or White. Hold on. It was called the White Citizens Council. Yes, you can go look it up. White Citizens Council. It was in the 1950s and 60s, and we did a comparison and contrast against this Kirk person in this Turning Point, and their positions of how they moved were exactly the same. They were very much so anti-Brown versus Board of Education ruling in '54, and Kirk vehemently was opposed modern racial justice movements like DEI and critical race theory. They tried to present the councils tried to present themselves as a respectable face of segregation. Kirk and his organization create the
political mainstream by trying to do through debate and media appearances and campus activism, trying to appear to be that they are just the salient voice of reason. They use coercion. Councils in the 50s and 60s, my parents told me, used to punish civil rights supporters. Kirk's organization, Turning Point, they have, like the young lady said, the professor's watch list that targets educators for their views, and it criticizes the modern form of professional and social coercion. So this is nothing new. He's just taking an old playbook. They actually did this in the 40s in the United States, 30s and 40s in the United States, pre-Nazi Germany in college here in the United States. You can go back and read about that. And so this person was radically anti-black in his stance. He used a Ku Klux Klan model of Christianity, calling it nationalism, which there's no such thing that exists. Because nationalism excludes Christianity, whereas Christianity includes human beings. So the things are 180 degrees polar opposites of one another. But by packaging things and putting a smiling face on it, it's akin to the same thing as my father told me how the Klan used to come to his house when he was a child in Birmingham, Alabama, and try to burn crosses, and my family would have shootouts. So it's just, but yet they'd be the same people with the judges and the city council people and this. It's the same thing. It's the modern day same thing. It's the exact same thing.
Carlos, what was the name of that book again? The White what Council?
It is called the White Citizens Council.
The White Citizens
WHITECITIZENS Council. The White Citizens Council were a group in the 1950s and 60s, and they were a network of white supremacist, segregationist organizations that resisted racial integration after Brown versus Board of Education ruling.
Catalyst.
Yes, sir.
Because those groups were around at that time, obviously, and they tried to, do what they do, and I think that they may not have it succeeded, or maybe they went back into the shadows, and history is repeating itself right now. Do you think it's going to be the same case where these small subgroups are like trying to surface and trying to do the same things, but they won't be successful? Or do you think they have a chance of being successful this time?
I think when more young black people, 20s, teens, 20s, 30s, understand history from their parents or grandparents or great-grandparents who lived in the area and use the same tactics with a modern element, I think those individuals ultimately will not be successful. They can be more successful the more black young
So they're just going to throw us off a little bit, but we're going to get back on course, you think?
I definitely think it's possible for black Americans to get on course, especially if they understand that there's nothing new under the sun. It keeps going around. I mean, if you look at Roberts, Supreme Court judge, last week was a phenomenal week in American history. On Monday, they went after the Fourth Amendment to discriminate against people based on skin color. On Tuesday, they start via the shadow docket. They started chipping away at the Civil Rights Act of 1964. On Wednesday, Eric Schmidt, the governor of the senator in the state of Missouri, came out in front of the John Birch Society. Go look up John Birch Society and you'll understand.
Oh yeah, I know
it. Yeah, and said America is for white people, and our relatives made it. Our ancestors made it for us. There was no pushback. The same day, in the Senate, in the U.S. Senate in D.C., the GOP senators voted to block the Epstein files. On Thursday, the GOP Senate gave up their advise and consent authority of in the Senate. The senators, the U.S. senators, are responsible for advice and consent of who gets elevated to the next, whoever's trying to come in, whether it's someone they're trying to get put on. Well, this administration said we're going to get rid of all that, and we want to have a block advising consent. So instead of rating each individual, we're going to just bunch of them together. And they did what's called the nuclear option in the Senate to override the Senate's role of advising consent to the executive. So there's been a series of things that have been taking place to whittle away using white nationalism and to strip black people from rights. Right now, in October, next month, they brought back up Voting Rights Act, which is the 1965 Act. They've stripped Part 4 and 5. They're going after Part 2, which is the last third leg of the Voting Rights Act. They're trying to strip that down. So black people have no civil rights, no voting rights, and they're going after the Fair Housing Act of 1968. And in 1968, they've already gone after affirmative action or DEI. The thing that Lyndon Baines Johnson put in effect in 1968, week one, when Trump came into office, he overturned Lyndon Baines Johnson's executive order creating affirmative action. So there's a systemic method to unrattle all the things that our parents and grandparents have fought for, died for, put in place since '64.
One more catalyst. You heard of HR 5300, right?
I know that piece of legislation, sir.
Yeah, Marco Rubio proposed it on September 11th.
Jesus Christ.
And part of the legislation, there's a lot of it in there, but part of it is where they can cancel your passport if they don't like your like what you put online, basically eliminating freedom of speech. Right? They can. They have the authority to cancel your passport if they don't like what you're saying online.
Someone in the chat said Infowars leftists. I'm not a leftist, so I don't know where they're coming from.
Well, no, forget the chat, but Marco Rubio did introduce that bill or whatever. Have you seen that?
I have not, sir. I don't know if anyone's looked at the news today, though. Trump, when he was running for office, said he wanted to get rid of, what do they call that? Daylight savings time, which has to do with, depending on what coast you're on, and he wanted to have everything be the exact same. They forwarded a bill today to get rid of that, which does destructive amounts of, it upsets.
And they're forwarding bills that mean nothing. Why are you even thinking about daylight savings time right now? Like, who even comes up with these things, right? Like, during what's happening. Like, it's just dumb.
Sir, I agree 100% with you, sir. And your sentiments and your words, you're 100% accurate. All this is distractions from the Epstein pedophilia group.
I agree with you, yes.
That's what this is about. The war that they're trying to start in Venezuela and Suriname right now by sending, I think there's 7 or 8 U.S. warships off the coast now to protect ExxonMobil. It's the exact same play they did in 1964.
We agree fully. We agree fully.
It's the exact same thing.
So it's like let's just throw things out. Let's kill Charlie Kirk.
He said the warships are there for drugs. He didn't say nothing about protecting Exxon Oil.
So, ma'am, in 1964...
My name is not ma'am, sir. My name is right at the top of their cat list. Please don't start being trite.
In '64, when the Gulf of Tonkin event took place, the same sets of circumstances were going on because of the...
I understand. I just said what I said. I understand that. You don't have to give me a history lesson. I just said what I said. But for the others who don't know the history lesson, you can go ahead and give it. You get your panties in a bunch. I know you these clubhouse professors and shit, but if we say something to you and knock you off your podium, y'all get your panties in a wad.
Excuse me, I want to call. I'll be back.
Did y'all need an intermission? Oh, Catalyst, don't go. Don't leave. Woo. Don't leave us, Catalyst.
No, I said I'm on
Please
call.
stay. Okay, and
Hey, I just got here. I wanted the history lesson. Now I'm on the edge of my seat.
Oh my God, girl! I'll
are
give
you
it to
edging?
No, you guys all came back. Y'all was on your lunch break.
Lunch break? Nah.
That's what it sounded like.
No, it's just hanging out.
You was on a lunch break, or y'all was at a meeting, or?
Oh, I don't know what they were doing.
I'm here, Charlie Kirk's people. That's what.
If I'm not mistaken, Lisa been right beside you the whole time, Mel.
I've been in the chat. I'm a chat warrior now. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna stay in the chat. Oh, it's hot as.
It is 80 degrees outside. Or close to it.
Yeah, this is not. I'm all got on all this stuff. I'm gonna take some stuff off.
That chat had a lot of fire in there earlier today. And Gemini, and it was definitely on a hot note. But I'm glad that
you missed me playing the pastors. I'm gonna have to send you the link.
No, I didn't. I heard it. I just was. I wasn't. I was here, but I wasn't in the
You was like a
flesh.
fly in the wall. Okay, I get it. I get it. Sometimes I like to be the fly in the wall, so.
I wasn't in the flesh.
Not you in here as anonymous, First Lady.
No. I still got my spot.
Yeah, Second Lady be in the group.
Not second lady.
There only could be one first, so she gotta be second.
Right, but how do you know
Sister
that,
gotta be second?
that the other person might not be a lady? You see what I'm saying? True. But yeah, I think we should get into that pastor talk a little later.
Oh, okay.
But what do I think? I don't think that. From what I heard, now Jamal may have went a little further, but from what you played, it was very mild. It wasn't too spicy. The person who came behind him was a little bit more spicy. Yeah, but why does it have to be opposed? I didn't say anything
The
bad.
second pastor that came behind him at the time. Okay.
See, that's what I'm gonna get y'all. Y'all gonna get deliverance. Y'all gonna get deliverance.
A lot of these pastors ain't what they pretend to be. You know that.
No. You know what, Mel? You probably need to play it over for Gemini.
Well, Gemini, I heard Gemini was talking about his pastor yesterday.
Yeah, I was traumatized yesterday. Y'all, like.
I know Sandra was telling us. Sandra said you mentioned something yesterday.
Look, first lady, real quick. I'm not gonna be long, but he was like. He started off the service, and that's all I heard was the beginning because I left, with voice trembling, sound like he's about to cry. He's like, "We lost a brother in Christ. I know you guys feel the pain that I'm feeling right now." He was killed for telling the truth. Christ was persecuted for telling the truth as well.
Hey, Gemini, was this a black pastor?
No.
Okay.
We had
that fucked me up though. Like he compared him to Christ. Like we can't even compare to Christ.
So I heard a pastor last week.
And saying that he died telling the truth, so by saying that, I feel like he was directly supporting everything that the dude said. If he's saying
how's it going?
He died telling the truth.
Going for a walk. Sin.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm hearing
The
Gemini.
worst of it is not to me about comparing him to they're gonna do that. They're gonna do that because it's the fake religious, right? But the comparison to Martin Luther King is gonna send me over the cliff. It really is. So I'm just warning anyone. Can I finish my sentence? So, no, you got it, Brett. Let me just go on mute.
No, I'm sorry, Lisa. Go ahead.
No, why should I? Go ahead. I got it.
Come on now with this passive stuff. Go ahead, sis. I'm the only person that can do this. I'm the only one that can whine and cry. Nobody else.
MO, first lady.
Exactly. She can't do what I do. That's my point. Go ahead, Lisa. I got him. Sit down, Ron. Don't you get up no more. Leave that microphone alone. Go ahead, Lisa. Go ahead.
One mic on Lisa.
You guys are funny. Anyway, I was had a banana in my mouth. So what I'm gonna say to y'all is, you don't have to forgive me, because when you motherfuckers start saying that Martin Luther King is comparable, no, Charlie Kirk is comparable to Martin Luther King, y'all gonna see the New York side of me. I am not gonna listen to that shit again like we did last night. Not listening to it. He is not comparable. Find a white leader to compare him to. Don't keep dragging my man MLK out the fucking mausoleum every fucking time you need somebody to make blacks shudder about. Stop it. I'm fucking sick and tired of it. Martin Luther King was a civil rights activist. Charlie Kirk was not. I'm not gonna say nothing else because I know we're on lockdown with our lips. Our lips are on lockdown. We can't say nothing about this man like we over in
lips are on lockdown.
Russia. Y'all lips, Mel, you don't feel like your lips are on lockdown?
No.
Yes. I get back messages, Telegram messages. You better change your title. You better put that up. You better take your replays off. I'm like, where the fuck am I?
I do not sound like that.
Oh, was that you?
Yeah.
Can I just say?
I didn't read yours. I had the. Listen, here it goes again.
No,
go ahead, bro. You got it.
Jim and I just talked. I thought we was doing like a
but Gemini has that special green.
Oh, you're right.
Bean. Okay, I'm gonna unmute. Let y'all men have it. Go ahead, King.
All I was gonna say is like y'all don't feel like y'all on like an island. Hello. Y'all don't feel like y'all like on an island of people who like still have some sense, like who still don't like praise this man who died and got killed. Like y'all don't feel like y'all like. I feel like everybody's like caving to this thing, and I'm the only one that's like, what the fuck is happening? Y'all don't feel like that? I feel like that.
You're the only one?
Well, I'm talking about the people in this room, right? You know, like, it's like...
No, I don't.
Oh, okay, well...
Ron, explain it to her. She's not explaining a little...
Hey, Ron, let me try, Ron. Like in this room, even though we're a minority, we're the majority in this room, right? And we have pretty much a collective or a collective view of what just transpired and who he actually was prior to his death and what he represented, right? We all pretty much are in alignment on that. But outside of this room, it seems like the majority of people, and I think it's signified by his Instagram going from 6 million to 12 million post-mortem, are actually siding with him and saying that he had a righteous message. He was a righteous man. He was a good, God-fearing Christian man. He was our potential next presidential candidate. And we lost such an amazing martyr, right? And I think that is where he's saying, like, how are people viewing him like that when we all see something different, but we're the minority and the majority of the people seem to be praising him right now. I think that's
That's what I'm saying.
So what is that about? I call it out publicly. He's trash.
I don't know what you're talking about because we all doing the same thing. It's like weird.
We are.
You feel like you're the only one was kind of weird.
You can explain that. Let the boy hair go, Lisa. Let the boy hair
go. I know you like attention.
And she decided, I'm not letting go. I don't care if it makes sense or not.
I love you, Lisa.
I'm talking about Ron.
I love you too. I love me some Ron.
I was talking to Lisa.
I love me some Ron.
Lisa just said that she don't feel like she could speak. So that means
it's not like y'all want some fire.
Okay, I got you.
Nah, I'm good. It's hot enough. It's hot enough, First Lady. I'm good.
Because we can go to hell real quick.
No, Jim.
No, baby, we good.
Take us there. I'll lead the way. I'm going to lead you on that,
I'm good, though. I'm just trying to be a contrarian right now.
Okay, I'm back because I have to change my thing out of music.
I'm saying.
I had a debate.
No, wait a minute. Now, wait a minute. Hold up. Mel just got an attitude. Wait a minute, hold up. You said you about to change your thing out of music. You want to play the clip now?
No, I ain't want to play shit. I want y'all to fucking hear me, and y'all wasn't hearing me because I had my shit on music.
I can hear you, but you weren't bold enough with your speech, so
it wasn't. Yeah,
It wasn't given New York.
it wasn't bold enough, you know. But I want you to stay in music mode if you got the clip.
Well, remember it was 4 clips, so.
One mic on Mel. Mel empty the clip.
There we go.
All right, I got you right now. Let me go to the. All right. Let me go back to this. There was another guy. He walked out of his church. He said he'd been attending this church for 10 years. And after they did a moment of silence, he's out. He's like, yeah, this ain't for me. This church ain't for me no more.
Y'all gonna laugh. I got emotional yesterday. I was emotional after that. Like, yeah.
To be honest, I think.
That's not even funny. Shit like that will make you upset, so you'll be emotional.
Your facts.
Too, because
Pastor, I called him right after he did it. He said something similar to that. Him and I heard it on Wednesday Bible study. I called him immediately afterwards and got in and told him facts. And he was like, well, it's not nuance. He was a white piece of trash. He was anti-black. And the fact that you up here caping for him as a black man in front of all these parishioners, you out. You off. You off. Like, who raised you, partner? Where'd you come from? Where were your parents? He's a young man in his 40s, so but still, no, you don't know history. He was not Christian at all. He was anti-Christ. He was not Christian at all.
Well put. Mel, you dropping the clip?
Hold on, because it's 4 clips. Let me get the first one first.
No, I just wanted to make sure we weren't cutting you off.
Okay. All right, so the first one is Pastor Jamal preaching this past Sunday.
About all of these Negro preachers who've been, in fact, talking about that this man that was killed was the answer to Christ in the earth. Y'all ain't saying that. They having moments of silence in black churches all over the country over a man that was racist and a white supremacist. How dare you compare him to Martin Luther King? So is both of them was killed by a white man. After that, they got nothing else in common. I'm concerned.
So that was that Pastor Jamal from Georgia for Atlanta. For anybody that doesn't know. The next one is another pastor. I'm not sure where he does. Hold on.
Charlie Kirk did not deserve to be assassinated. But I'm overwhelmed seeing the flags of the United States of America at half-staff calling this nation to honor and venerate a man who was an unapologetic racist and spent all of his life sowing seeds of division and hate into this land. And hearing people with selective rage who were mad about Charlie Kirk but didn't give a damn about Melissa Hortman and her husband when they were shot down in their home, tell me I ought to have compassion for the death of a man who had no respect for my own life. I am sorry, but there's nowhere in Bible where we are taught to honor evil. And how you die does not redeem how you lived. You do not become a hero in your death when you are a weapon of the enemy in your life. chose to live. I am overwhelmed.
Okay. The next one is the pastor of Chicago responding to both of those preachings. Hold on. So he plays a few of the clips.
Just all over the country over a man that was racist and a white supremacist. Past that, calling this nation to honor and venerate a man who was an unapologetic racist.
No, we cannot be silent about the idolatry and the racism that is going on in the black church. And Jamal Bryant is one of the biggest goofies behind a pulpit. Just because you sitting there hooping and hollering, I said, God said, that don't mean it's anointed. That don't mean it's spirit filled. This is the same dude that went to the gay church with 2 gay men as pastors and acknowledged them as the first gentleman. How y'all still listening to this man like he led by the Spirit and everything he do go against the Bible? I'll tell you why. Because y'all put culture over kingdom and there's idolatry in the black church. Hey, my sis said it best. She said, don't be so pro-black you become anti-Christ. That is the problem. Show me the tape, Jamal. Take the tape of Charlie Kirk being racist and post it on your platform. Because y'all keep running with this narrative. Y'all got a lot to say. Show me the tape. I done looked at every video where they said this man was being racist, and I looked at the clip in context. Find the tape, Jamal. Find the tape. Post it on your page, and let's talk about it. You a goofy, bro. You a clown, bro. You a wolf, and you misleading the people. And you know how you do it? Because of the hurt, because of the trauma in the black community. Yes, a lot of evil things happen. Yes, there is some racism. Yes, what happened back in the day with slavery and through the civil rights movement, it was awful. But some of you black pastors, you making our people be victims. You teaching the opposite of what the Bible says because you the real racist. And some of y'all make money, right, by keeping our people down, and they looking and they put all their hope in the pastor. What y'all really, man, I'm sick of it, bro. Show me the tapes. Show me the tapes. Stop making the claims if you don't got the tapes.
So now Pastor Jamal responds with the tapes. Hold on.
So much has been said over the last couple of days in reference to the murder of Charlie Kirk, suggesting that this is the signal that Christendom is going forward. It is a very poor misrepresentation. We are against violence in all of its forms, and what took place in Utah was absolutely heinous. But yet, it still does not dismiss. In spite of how he died, it doesn't erase how it is that he lived. I don't want to be taken out of context, but I want to ask you, in Charlie's own words, is this the voice of Christendom and the church?
For these blacks trying to go rob her, happening all the time in urban America, prowling blacks go around for fun to go target white people. That's a fact. Black crime is a major issue in our country. Why are you pushing criminal justice reform? Joy Reid and Michelle Obama and Sheila Jackson Lee and Ketanji Brown Jackson, they're coming out and they're saying, I'm only here because of affirmative action. Yeah, we know. You do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously. You had to go steal a white person's slot to go be taken seriously. Now, the southern border is, of course, the great replacement. They're trying to replace us demographically. They're trying to make the country less white. It is an anti-white agenda. If I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified. America was at its peak when we halted immigration for 40 years and we dropped our foreign-born percentage to its lowest level ever. I do think that there is a direct correlation in someone's testosterone and their politics. On young men, the lower their testosterone, the more likely they are to be Democratic. When blacks in America did not have the same rights they had today, they were less murderous, there was less break-ins, Why is that?
So I'm sorry, are you trying to say that blacks thrive under subjugation?
No, I'm saying I'm asking you the question. The data shows they were actually better in the 1940s. It was bad. It was evil. But what happened? Something changed.
And that is the end.
Thank you, Mel. Thank you, Mel. Your cash
Mel.
app, Mel.
Now, in the beginning, was that all Pastor Jamal or another pastor too?
It was, I started it off with Jamal, then it was another pastor.
Yeah, I like him. He went to the
Correct.
House.
After another pastor, it was the response from the third pastor, and then Jamal responded on the fourth video.
Who was the one who called Jamal Bryant a goofy? Because he was a fucking goof. Oh, sorry, Pastor.
He is a pastor from Chicago. His name is Marcus. I'm going to tell you his name right. Marcus Rogers. Child of the King is his Instagram. But if you click on the profile, he is the pastor of Firehouse Chicago.
Is he the older guy?
Firehouse is in a church?
Correct.
Child, and somebody goofy. That's the goofiest name I ever heard for a house of worship. Fires. What the? He's a grifter, Maria.
No, Marcus Rogers. No, he is a grifter. Marcus Rogers actually killed someone. He also has 8 mothers. No, I'm serious. He killed someone on the military base. I can actually post the article. He's a grifter.
You see what I'm talking about? You know, the loudest one got the thickest caseload. You guys are these criminals. They're everywhere. They're social activists. They're ministers. Okay, let me be quiet.
And then the second pastor that I played was Howard John Wesley. He's he's a senior pastor. That was the second pastor that I played, and then the first one was Jamal.
Wow, that's crazy.
And it's crazy because if you look at the comments, unless white people are using black PTRs and commenting, there's a lot of black people commenting on the side of this young man.
Yeah, because like
on
I
the
said
side
last
that
night,
he's not racist and that he is a good person, yada yada yada.
So while is he still here? GA's probably not still here. But I was listening to GA while I was talking about how, you know, they're trying to divide the right from the left. I'm all for it. You take the South, y'all right people, because you're so right, and we'll take the coast. Y'all can have that middle of nowhere all to yourself, and we'll take the coast. How about that? And then the darkies who keep talking about they agree with racism and bigotry and hatred, y'all stay there, be their slaves, because that's what they're trying to get you to be in the first goddamn place. So your wish can come true. You can go back to the South and that motherfucking plantation that you always talk about, I'm on, because my house is good. I got a good house, okay? Nobody, they don't look nothing like no fucking plantation, okay? Wood floors and wall-to-ceiling windows. Y'all can go to the South and be bitch boys and girls, and you stay right there. Because I don't want to be mixing in with you guys too much more, because I'm starting to edges over this bullshit.
What is happening? What's going on? Y'all put everything in the pot, and then y'all just be eating it up. I don't get it.
Wait, hold on for a minute. I know Matt Seed not talking to me. Matt, are you talking to me? Let's get it corrected right now. No, I'm serious right now, because I don't know.
He wasn't talking. He wasn't talking
to you.
Matt. They have been going on in the chat. The chat
Matt.
is HE double hockey sticks.
They're all piling on
already.
Okay, you back on.
Get back in the
back
chat.
on, Matt. As my wee friend that I don't like. Okay, yeah, you back on.
Can you make sure you park right, please, man? Thank you.
You heard that? When they hit the wall to in and out.
Exactly. Hello?
Car screaming for its life, man.
Shut up, Gemini. You didn't have to add to the sauce. Hey, sir.
All right. So, I don't know. Hello.
First lady, you weren't here last night, but we had a little tiff back and forth with TC and a couple other people, and they were to insinuate that we were in a celebration in regards to Kirk's passing. And they're really coming at Just for the most part.
Why you have to bring up that nigga? He's not even in here.
Yeah, they yeah, well, I'm telling you because of what happened last night. So they were trying to blame it on Just, but it ended up getting clarified, like, the room collectively has not been celebrating. We have an opinion on his opinions, right, which we're able to do because he had opinions on us. So we definitely have opinions on his opinions, but that's a lot different than celebrating someone's death, right? And then he brought up the fact that Brooklyn had did it, and then that was clarified, like, yeah, but there was pushback to that to the point where she started saying, I'm going to stay in the goo because I'm too volatile for the stage, right? So with that being said, you can't say that's been the collective thought or the collective conversation, right? And so that kind of went, like, real left for a minute, like Justin, TC got interested, but TC ended up conceding, so then there's that.
Okay. Well, I'm glad y'all found some kind of resolve. We just don't need to be fighting, y'all. This ain't the time to be fighting one another. From the beginning, when Mel first told me about this. Oh, and by the way, Mel, did the guy respond back to Jamal yet? That'll be interesting.
Okay, I'm gonna check.
Okay. But, I was just like, why are we getting in this? Why did...
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, why are the pastors getting into it?
I was about to say, are pastors supposed to have beef? Are they allowed to? Is that Christian?
So
I mean, they can have,
here's a question.
They can have that beef.
Yeah, they got into it in the
Is this
Bible.
is this on YouTube?
And
No,
I'm sure.
And Peter got into it.
So they're allowed to fight, or they just got to smite, or how does this work?
Well, you talking about the fight, but I'm just saying, why are they getting into the whole Kirk thing? Like, right now, this is white on white crime. Why are black people inserting themselves? That's what I'm asking.
A lot of pastors are paid
Follow the money
by white people to make sure they keep their flocks as sheep. That's what's going on.
You beat me to it. I was about to say this, and this is nothing against Christians or Christianity.
That's enough.
I'm son of a minister, and I am a Christian, and I do believe in the Bible, so y'all could take that for whatever it's worth. But with that being said, Christians are the most gullible, by far, the most gullible group of people. Like, when predators come around, they know to go after the church people. They're going to open up their wallets, open up their hearts, open up their purse, open up their homes, open up anything you can get them to open up. They're gullible as the living fuck, right? So these pastors, when they endorse something from the pulpit, that's powerful. Very powerful, because these people have already opened up their hearts and minds and are living their life by their guidelines, right? What he says in the pulpit goes into their household, right? Becomes indoctrinated, right? So when you see those type of things happening, and they use their platform to platform him and to platform his agenda, just like my preacher yesterday. Well, that's not my preacher, the preacher's church I attended yesterday, because that's how I view it at this point, right? When you hear him say he was a righteous man and they prosecuted him for telling the truth, you instantly just co-sign every single thing this man. You didn't make any separation between, there were some things he said I didn't like, but overall as a man, none of that. You just said he told the truth, which means you're instantly telling your entire platform, who adheres to your every little word, that his messages were accurate and truthful. And when you start seeing pastors do that and platform that, there needs to be some form of pushback. Otherwise, the blind, gullible church members are going to, Pastor, what's his name, said X, Y, and Z, and he's a good man, Savannah, and there you go.
Jim and I
that works that much more further.
Jim and I talked to 3 different pastors over the weekend about what you just said, giving the pushback. And the first one I talked to last week, he was, well, listen, there's no well. Go read. Go ask somebody older. Go just read history. The other two were older. They're like, oh yeah, absolutely. This guy was trash. He was anti-black. And black pastors, I'm not talking about the white ones, because they already co-opted. Black pastors who follow that thread are just woefully ignorant and or in the pocket of white identity terrorists. They're not supreme, they're terrorists, and they're pushing that slave Christian mindset. And I'm a Christian, but not that. That's a slave Christian. Cast down your buckets where you are. That slave nonsense. It's like, nah. And there are many silly black men pastors who have no understanding of blackness here. I've heard black pastors say, I am a Christian before I'm black. I'm like, you are ignorant, because a Jew is a Jew. A Palestinian is a Palestinian. A Chinese is a Chinese person. What are you talking about? Why are you expecting? This is the whole thread of get rid of all the blackness away from. That's one of the reasons I would submit, Gemini, why there's so few black real men in black Christian churches. Because they're not going for the okie doke.
What you just said is the okie doke.
Hey, you're in the Matrix. Hey, you're calling Charlie Kirk trash, but one's trash is the treasure.
Yeah, Catalyst is talking outside of his neck.
I'm only speaking facts. So
you're not
if
speaking
facts to the side of your neck, then you have no understanding of fact.
You understand. First thing, nobody's going to put a race or a what you call that's a Christian. See, I'm not a Christian. I'm a Christian. I'm not going to put a color or a creed before God. Okay, that's not going to happen. So so you're on some other wavelength to get this to balance to what you want it to be there, Catalyst. This is 7 talking.
The wavelength I'm on is I'm going to heaven, being caught up in the first resurrection. That's the wavelength I'm going on. That's what he meant when he says, "Blessed and holy is he that hath part in the first resurrection."
Blessed
second death hath no power. That's the wavelength I'm on.
Sing it.
Well, the wavelength I'm on is I put and keep God first in everything I do.
Fire going on right now.
So that's what it is. So you sit there and call a guy a name, that you never even met before. Now, do I agree with anything that they?
Wait.
I didn't meet George.
One second. I know y'all hear me saying 1 second. Un momento. Thank you. Por favor.
Why he left?
Why who left?
He's about to get chopped the fuck up.
Oh, I don't know. Did he leave or did somebody place him in the go?
No, he left. He left. I just said
He knew what was coming.
No, I don't. What you mean he knew what was coming? Because I was getting ready to change the subject. So, because you didn't even know what I was getting ready to say.
Yeah, okay.
And Pastor wanted to say something, First Lady.
They all say the same shit.
All right. If Pastor getting ready to say, right? Pastor, you getting ready to say something?
Yeah, I'm going to be real quick. As a pastor, as a Christian, and I've told people this, and I'll say it again. Stay out of them white people business. It's none of our business. I'm going back on mute.
That's a fact.
And that's a pastor I'm going to listen to.
Respectfully, I mean,
Darren, come on, you can't be in the Matrix.
You're in the Matrix.
Jesus called the Pharisees. Oh shit! Hold on. Can you hear?
Yeah, you should be in the Matrix because I got interrupted because Pastor wanted to say something and I still didn't get a chance to say what I wanted to say.
Oh, I thought Pastor was done. I was responding to him.
Yeah, well, I didn't say. Okay, you want to respond to Pastor? Go ahead. I'll hold.
Oh yeah, respectfully, Jesus.
I'm respecting that.
I'm gonna stop.
Jeremy,
Jesus.
Don't go ahead, Jeremy. Trust me.
No, shut up, Gemini. Go ahead. Jesus said what? Jeremy, what did Jesus say?
First lady.
Jesus said what now? What did Jesus say?
One mic on First Lady, Jeremy.
That's cool. I love you, First Lady.
Jesus said he loves you.
He loves you. He loves you.
He said he loves you, and Jesus said one mic on First Lady. That's what
That's all he says. Yep. That's all Jesus said.
Whatever.
Jesus said one mic on First Lady. Go ahead.
Jeremy, what did Jesus say? Jesus loves me.
I'm in the Matrix.
Yeah, don't you do it, Jeremy. One mic on First Lady.
I don't like pressured, but I wanted to point out the fact that, how I heard Jamal start by saying that this is not Christian. What is it? What did he say? Christendom? Is that it?
Christianism.
No, he did not say it.
No, he said I'm Christ. He said I'm Christ something. He was saying Christian. He's saying Christ. Yeah.
He said Christian, not Christian. Christ.
Yeah, Christdom. Yeah, I heard them.
It's not Christdom. He said Christendom.
No,
anyway, we can go back to
because when he said it, it just put an antenna up because I never heard it.
Okay, we can rewind the tape. We can rewind the tape. But I wanted to say that because it hit me, and we have it where there's a group of people who see Christianity in a different view. That's what's being brought to the forefront right now. See, we have another group over here that sees Christian this way, and a group over here that sees it a completely different way. So then when you have one group saying, oh, this is not Christian, yeah, to those that see it the same way that you see it, they see that that's not Christian-like. But the people who follow that idea or ideology of Christian or Christendom or whatever you want to call it, that's how they see it. Have you ever thought about that before? I'm not saying that one is right or the other. I'm just saying, like, this is where we are. We're in a crux because people literally, even when it comes down to the truth, what the truth is constantly being questioned. How we used to see things and how we at least communicated with one another, we kind of saw things eye to eye. But now it's not happening like that. There's a whole new reality that's being created. Can y'all see that or no?
No, because this has always been a thing. I've been seeing this for decades. Like, I mean, I can go down the list. And even
what are you saying no to, sir? Be precise. What are you saying no?
You just laid out something. Right?
I asked a question. I said
that
these people see Christianity one way and another group sees Christianity another way. You said no. Okay, precisely describe why I said no.
I'm saying.
Well, that's my question.
Wait. Hold on. What I'm saying, this is not new. This is not a new thing. This has been something that's been going on for decades. I've always seen this, even as a person who's not even religious. I've been seeing this. Like it's none of this is new. You have a great faction of Black Christians who believe in the conservative movement, even when they're not conservative, meaning that they are not that they're not for gay rights, trans rights. You can go down the list of the things that you'll see progressive Christians will go for. It is a pure split line fraction, and I've seen them both, even in New York. Churches across the street from each other, like that. It's not new. Like Pastor Manny.
Okay, so Robert, hey Robert, good afternoon. Good day to you, Mr. Supreme Dupreme. Yeah, no, so we're talking about Pastor Jamal Bryant and these other two pastors. I don't know these other people's names. Jamal and the other gentleman, they commented on what has been happening in regards to Charlie Kirk and how some people are responding.
What was your stand on it? Because I was coming in and out, if you don't mind me asking.
Yeah, well, Jamal was simply saying that the only thing that Charlie Kirk and Martin Luther King have in common is that they were killed by a man. That's what he said. So I assume that there was conversation about what he was referencing to is the fact that people were trying to compare him to Martin Luther King. And he was standing up for that.
Wow. So may I make a comment?
Yeah, but the overall arching question that I have is regarding, because how Jamal started out was talking or referencing Christianity, right? And saying that this guy is not a person to represent, Christendom.
That was not.
So, yeah.
That was not Jamal that said that. You know that, right?
Okay, who was it?
That was the Chicago pastor that's bashing Jamal and the other pastor.
Okay.
Okay, that's what I was trying to get clarity.
Okay.
on.
Let me hear Jamal again.
Yeah, do you mind playing that again? Because I missed some of it. So don't mind, Mel.
Yeah, and I'm ready to comment once this get clarified.
Okay. All right.
Okay, Brother Dupree.
Peace, brother. How you doing, man? I need you, man. What's good? You all right?
Yes, sir. Monday is a money-making, motivated Monday.
No doubt, no doubt. Let me let them have this dialogue so I can comment, because I do have a
Motivated Monday. I thought it was Motivated Money Monday.
All right.
No money. Don't say
playing.
money shit.
I'm playing it now.
Oh, Mel, you behaving today? Are you limiting your vulgarity today, Mel? Thank you for tempering it.
These Negro preachers who've been, in fact, talking about that this man that was killed was the answer to Christ in the earth. Y'all ain't saying that. They having moments of silence in black churches all over the country over a man that was racist and a white supremacist. How dare you compare him to Martin Luther King? The only thing that Charlie, Chris, and Martin Luther King got in common is both of them was killed by a white man. After that, they got nothing else in common. I'm concerned about all.
That was it from Jamal.
Good. Okay.
Thanks for separating it. That made sense.
So that all Jamal.
That's all Jamal. And what's
That
this
was
guy
Jamal
name?
right now.
What happened?
That was Jamal?
So with that, yes, that was Jamal.
Yeah, so I got it. Okay, so I'm
Wait a minute, hold up. So wait a minute. The next pastor, what is his name? I keep forgetting.
The next pastor is, one moment.
There's two more.
Hold on. Is Pastor
Charlie Kirk did not deserve to be assassinated.
HJW is his abbreviation.
But I'm overwhelmed seeing the flags of the United States of America at half staff calling this nation to honor and venerate a man who was an unapologetic racist and spent all of his life sowing seeds of division and hate into this land. And hearing people selective rage who were mad about Charlie Kirk but didn't give a damn about Melissa Hortman and her husband when they were shot down in their home tell me I ought to have compassion for the death of a man who had no respect for my own life. I am sorry, but there's nowhere in Bible where we are taught to honor evil. And how you die does not redeem how you lived. You do not become a hero in your death when you are a weapon of the enemy in your life. I can abhor the violence that took your life, but I don't have to celebrate how you chose to live. I am overwhelmed.
Okay, that's it. Okay.
Okay, so wait a minute, just W. That was the W.
Yeah, HJW. His name is I'm gonna tell you right now.
You can just call him Pastor AW. Alfred.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So now we got the Chicago pastor.
He's the one that posted both of their videos and is going in on them.
Okay.
I will play that one. So remember, he plays them in the beginning and then he speaks on them.
Over a man that was racist and a white supremacist.
So he played both of their, like the little second beat.
Who are unapologetic racists. No, we cannot be silent about the idolatry and the racism that is going on in the black church. And Jamal Bryant is one of the biggest goofies behind a pulpit. Just because you sitting there hooping and hollering, I said, God said, that don't mean it's anointed. That don't mean it's spirit filled. This is the same dude that went to the gay church with 2 gay men as pastors and acknowledged them as the first gentleman. How y'all still listening to this man like he led by the Spirit and everything he do go against the Bible? I'll tell you why. Because y'all put culture over kingdom and there's idolatry in the black church. Hey, my sis said it best. She said, don't be so pro-black you become anti-Christ. That is the problem. Show me the tape, Jamal. Take the tape of Charlie Kirk being racist and post it on your platform. Because y'all keep running with this narrative. Y'all got a lot to say. Show me the tape. I done looked at every video where they said this man was being racist, and I looked at the clip in context. Find the tape, Jamal. Find the tape. Post it on your page, and let's talk about it. You a goofy, bro. You a clown, bro. You a wolf, and you misleading the people. And you know how you do it? Because of the hurt, because of the trauma in the black community. Yes, a lot of evil things happen. Yes, there is some racism. Yes, what happened back in the day with slavery and through the civil rights movement, it was awful. But some of you black pastors, you making our people be victims. You teaching the opposite of what the Bible says because you the real racist. And some of y'all make money, right, by keeping our people down, and they looking and they put all their hope in the pastor. What y'all really, man? I'm sick of it, bro. Show me the tape. Show me the tape. Stop making the claims if you don't got the tapes.
All right. Thank you for that perspective.
Wait a minute. 1 second.
Oh, damn.
This is the last one.
So number 4 would be Jamal responding back to him.
Y'all so official. Thank you for this breakdown.
So much is said over the last couple of days in reference to the murder of Charlie Kirk, suggesting that this is the signal that Christendom is going forward. It is a very poor misrepresentation.
Christendom
are against violence in all of its forms, and what took place in Utah was absolutely heinous. But yet, it still does not dismiss. In spite of how he died, it doesn't erase how it is that he lived. I don't want to be taken out of context, but I want to ask you, in Charlie's own words, is this the voice of Christendom and the church?
For these blacks trying to go rob her, happening all the time in urban America. Prowling blacks go around for fun to go target white people. That's a fact. Black crime is a major issue in our country. Why are you pushing criminal justice reform? Joy Reid and Michelle Obama and Sheila Jackson Lee and Ketanji Brown Jackson, they're coming out and they're saying, I'm only here because of affirmative action. Yeah, we know. You do not have the brain processing power to otherwise be taken really seriously. You had to go steal a white person's slot to go be taken somewhat seriously. Now, the southern border is, of course, the great replacement. They're trying to replace us demographically. They're trying to make the country less white. It is an anti-white agenda. If I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified. America was at its peak when we halted immigration for 40 years and we dropped our foreign-born percentage to its lowest level ever. I do think that there is a direct correlation between someone's testosterone and their politics. On young men, the lower their testosterone, the more likely they are to be Democratic. When blacks in America did not have the same rights they had today, they were less murderous, there was less break-ins. Why is that?
So I'm sorry, are you trying to say that blacks thrive under subjugation?
No, I'm not. I'm asking you the question. The data shows they were actually better in the 1940s. It was bad. It was evil. But what happened? Something changed.
All right, so let the record show it is Christendom. Thank you. I'm gonna go ahead and let you respond because you've done so well with staying off of the mic. But I did want to say
definition
something.
of that word.
Yeah, I only need 2 minutes. Yeah, I only need about 2 minutes.
You only need 2 minutes.
Maybe not.
First lady, did you look for the definition of that word?
No, I'm gonna look it up now. But go ahead. While Robert is talking on his 15-minute soliloquy, I'll look it up.
I was talking about what the other guy said, First Lady, before Robert gets started, because I'll probably be home by the time he's done.
Now you're messing up. See, come on now, I know it's 4:30. We're gonna time this. We're gonna time this because he exaggerated. I'm gonna show you how much they exaggerate. I'm gonna show you how much they exaggerate. Watch. Okay, so 4:35. All right. So first of all. Oh man, I think that we black folks, right? We gotta we don't be baited, be bigger, be better. This attempt that MAGA is making to just have us in a perpetual state of defending this, defending that, they are masterful at their strategy, and I'm gonna suggest that you guys take a look at the propaganda machinery used by Adolf Hitler, right, and his architect of that propaganda agenda. And you'll find this, it's 436, which you'll find so many similarities that once you realize those similarities are there, you'll have the tools that you need to understand why we are experiencing what we are experiencing here in the United States. Y'all better wake way the fuck up. Wake all the way the fuck up. That's all I'm gonna say. And that's it. 437.
Go, Robert. You get a high five for staying within 5 minutes. I appreciate it. I did not get a chance to look it up.
I'm listening to y'all.
Can I get the cue?
Y'all guide me.
Sure.
Get a hug. Don't get a high five.
I've been woke since I've been 12.
I just want to say, so the Christendom part, Lisa, my question was, because before he plays the clip, he asked a specific question. Does this represent Christendom? Does it represent Christendom? So we listened to what he said, and I'm asking everyone. Is that Christ-like? His speech that we just heard, there were different clips. Is that Christ-like? Is that how you see Christianity? I want to know.
Not me, but I have been out of the church for a minute because of my own personal reasons. But those are some of them. It's like, this is not. And then, do you remember the man? Okay, the man said something about whoever that was that left, said he was Christ something. He didn't say Christian, so I thought you were referring to that. Then, before he could speak, he said shit. And I'm like, these goddamn Christians, whatever. You guys are ruining it for me, this religious shit. It only has to do with me. It don't have to do with nobody else. It's my journey. No, it doesn't sound like, to answer your question again, no. For me, it's a no.
Which part are you talking about? Does which part sound like Christ?
So
I think she's talking about Charlie.
Yes, Jamal. So obviously we just heard all the clips, right? The guy from Chicago said, "Where the clips at? Where the clips at, Jamal?" So Jamal comes back and he then plays the clip. Before he plays the clip, he said, "Is this is this how you see Christendom?"
No. Charlie Kirk started off as an atheist. He just got on that wave, and I'll just say this real quick. A lot of people, when they talk about Christianity or being Christ-like, they refer to the Bible, but they never refer to Jesus Christ which was his name, actual words. So I would, just implore people that use the Bible as a talking point or as a reference, show me what Christ said, because a lot of times y'all show me what someone else said, but Christ's words are usually in red in the Bible, and a lot of his words and beliefs differ from what y'all portray as Christian. I land.
So I just read this in the chat. It says, this is why the Democrat Party has the lowest approval rating in the political history, is because they based all their arguments on falsehoods. They lied on everyone, you, me, even the deceased. So who is told a lie? Because I'm telling y'all now, do not smear my name. I promise you, I'm not the one. I am not lying on anyone, period. No one has told a lie on anyone. We're just playing clips and we're going back through the clips. If you don't like it and you can't handle it and you're too immature for the conversation, please just go ahead and hit the leave quiet button. There's no need for you to be here. I understand. This is a very sensitive topic. And because it is sensitive, you have to understand how you feel. And I want everybody to check their temperature. If your temperature is too hot, then you need to go. Maybe you can go cool off and then you can come back once your temperature has dropped. But if your temperature shall not drop, then you should stay away because you are feverish. And your feverish attitude and behavior is contagious. So go ahead and find yourself some ice and go sit your ass on it. Because I'm not dealing with it.
He hot in the ass.
They hot in the ass. Somebody's hot in the ass.
That's why I said he. I said he hot in the ass.
In the ass.
That's wild. Feverish and hot in the ass is wild.
Yeah, they got that fever running through their veins.
Man, look. So because what Christ said specifically, according to the Bible, right? He said, "Love thy neighbors like thyself." Every message that I seen directly for him, he said, "You should love your neighbor as yourself." Everything I ever heard directly from him.
He hung with prostitutes, flipped over tables.
Yeah, love your enemies and things of that nature. I'm not quoting; these are paraphrases, but these are his words, right? This matter of fact, not only his words, but he deemed it as a core Christian principle. And with that being said, what I heard from Mr. Charlie was hate and division, right? It was don't be empathetic, don't, very critical of African Americans and spreading mistruths and putting out fear-mongering tactics as far as, blacks they prowl, they congregate and prowl looking for white prey, like we're just looking to harm white people, and that's our MO, and this is a daily thing, right? This is a ritual in the black community. Like, we just go prowling. I forget exactly how he said it. I'm paraphrasing, but that's what he was implying, right? So when you hear somebody that is spreading hate and division, and we know every Christ quote has been love and unity, then we know it's directly the polar opposite of everything that Christianity is supposed to represent. Right? Now, I'm not condoning violence. I'm against violence of all sorts. I'm not sitting here saying this is why he needed to die. I'm not saying that. So nobody can misquote me on that. That's not what I'm trying to do. But I am saying that the principles that Christianity is based on is the opposite of what he stood for when he was here on this planet. And that's a fact.
Thank you. I just want to remind everyone, your comments will not be tolerated. They will no longer be even asked for you to advise or explain what you're saying. If I deem it as unnecessary or rude or ignorant or belligerent, I won't ask. I'll just remove. Okay? Thank you. However, before I go on, I do want to say Christians don't use those swear words. Well, first of all, what does a Christian look like to you? See, a lot of y'all got religion and Christianity fucked up. And I'm going to say it just like that, with the curse words. Because religion got y'all thinking one way, whereas in Christ had a whole different message. The first message of Christ, you should love your neighbors. Hello? Hello, somebody. See, if you really want to get into it, see, the problem is, a lot of people claim to be Christians and don't know nothing about the Bible. But you know everything about playing church. You know everything about going to the church, doing mass, doing communion, putting a little offering in, some people doing the praise and worship, all of that. But guess what? Your heart is nasty. Your ways are nasty. How you speak to one another is nasty. None of which is of God. None of which is why Jesus died on the cross, if in fact you believe in Christianity. The fruits of the Spirit is supposed to show up. You don't sit around and talk about people and talk about race and say these kind of things like that. No, that's not of God. That's not of love. If I'm putting a target on your back. So please, again, be careful. Anybody else like to speak?
Good evening, First Lady. How you doing? This is TC. How y'all doing today?
Hey, how you feeling?
I'm good. Trying to get my house together, man. Moving to another house. You know, it's always a task. I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna bounce. I'm the Simon Peter of the Christians. I'm an unchurched Christian. I don't follow the Christian religion, but I do read and follow Christian ideologies, right? I also follow Buddhism and a couple of other, philosophical, quote-unquote, religions. And I try to pull the best out of all of them because I believe the whitewashed Christianity that was taught to us here in the United States is nowhere near what Jesus Christ would have us do. I'm the Simon Peter of the apostles. I'm the guy that when you come to me, I'm gonna cut your ear off. I don't proclaim to be peaceful. I'm all about war, right? I did 23 years in the military because of that. I'm all about fighting, cutting ears off, cutting heads off. I don't hate nobody until you hate me. I believe that racists, people who push white nationalism, or any you don't deserve.
I think somebody's calling him.
Somebody says cutting ears off. Did I hear that? Did someone say something about cutting ears off?
Yeah, he said he did 23 years in the military.
No, cutting ears off.
And then he mentioned that after mentioning the military. He's all about that.
Ears. Okay, that sounds painful. All right, I'm going back on mute.
But I think he's on the phone because it cut out.
He was making a comparison to the disciple who cut their soul.
I think he's still talking, y'all. I think he's just in the matrix.
He going in right now. Yeah, he going in. We can't hear you, bro. He going in right now. I see he's off his mic.
JC, if you hear us, we can't hear you.
Yeah, he going in.
I don't know if you want to come back.
Oh, he gonna come back.
Yeah.
Yeah, remember the first enslaved Africans came over here.
Your mic is really broke. It's really broke.
Yeah. We can't hear you. We can't hear you, Unc. The first enslaved Africans came on the ship called the good ship Jesus. That was the first. It was the first ship.
Hey, Robert, mute up.
It's the truth.
No, we believe you, but it's just the time. Just trust me.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Christ came for the sinners, as well as to, and this is coming from Robert Brookins. He came to transform the renewing of their minds. Repentance means to change your mind. And that is not change your mind today and stay the same today as tomorrow. Every day your mind has to be renewed. Renewed in the spirit of love. Renewed in the spirit of joy. Renewed in the spirit of empathy. So some people ask, well, how can you show empathy? Because I know what I am required to do. I am not, I will not, again, this is for people who subscribe to Christianity. If you don't subscribe to Christianity, I'm not speaking to you. But those that are subscribed to Christianity, when me showing empathy does not mean that I agree with your viewpoints, with anything about your life. Empathy just simply means like, wow, I know if I was in this situation and this happened to me, I could definitely see how this person could be in pain, right? And I'm looking at his kids, I'm looking at his wife, and even the people that followed him. So for that, I can just say, you know what? I'm sorry for your loss. I'm not asking nobody else to say it, but I think it's crazy when people start questioning other people about how they feel. If I don't question you about how you feel, and even though your viewpoints might be different than mine, then that's okay. Hey, that's you, that's me, that's me. But the moment that we begin to try to, tell somebody else that they're wrong for doing what they do, then I think this is where we're going to constantly bump heads. So just going back to the pastor situation, that whole Christian thing, I just want to know, is this how y'all view Christianity? Because I think that sometimes people think that, they get all these other things right, but they don't really understand that you trying to point out somebody else's flaws is part of you not doing what is right. Because the woman that sat there and got called out and she was a hoe and they was all ready to stone her. And Jesus said, he who is without sin, go ahead and cast the first stone. Go ahead, get your rocks. Go ahead, get them. But they couldn't because they weren't without sin. I am not here to judge anybody. I don't have the power to judge. And neither do you. But a lot of y'all go around judging people day in and day out. Oh, this person is this, and they doing this in their bedroom and doing that. Why do you care? If God is going to get them, God will get them. It ain't for you to do it. You don't have a hell or a heaven to put them in. When you go around trying to make other people hate them, and then you want to say that that is of God? Is this what y'all call Christianity? I'm just trying to understand. Y'all let me know. Let me know.
So let me say this. One, it's definitely not. I think what you're describing is what is truly in the Bible. So let me say this first about just Christian nationalists, any sector, denomination of Christianity that teaches hate is wrong. And God, Jesus, every form of it makes that clear. You can argue about whether you believe in the Holy Trinity. You can argue about whether we should go to church on Saturday or Sunday. All that stuff I won't argue with you about because that's your personal belief. But if you're telling me that God told you to hate people, then I have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with somebody saying like, well, we don't believe that this should be okay. Okay, cool. That's what you believe in. It. That's not what I rock with. It's not what I rock with. But when you say God said hate this person, God said kill this person, that's not the God that I know. That's when I feel like you have false doctrine when you believe that. And so clearly, if you really listen to what he was saying, a person who was an atheist, keep in mind, this man started as atheist when his company first started, Turning Point. And then they shifted when the funding started coming through. And that's provable. You can look that up easily. But the bottom line is he shifted because he realized there was an opportunity. The same way Trump did. I can latch on to them, and even though it doesn't match up to my lifestyle, and I don't match up to theirs, it'll be fine. That was the first thing. And then going back to, I don't know if Pastor's even, he is in the room still. I was going to say more to the point that was earlier, and there was a lot of discussion in between. I like going to a church where the pastor talks about current events. I think that's important. I think that's taking what's in the past and making it relevant to the current events is critical for me. I don't want to be in a church that's disconnected. So I don't think it's as easy to just say like, then leave that for them. That's just for white folks, because we got to deal with it day to day. This is affecting us day to day. While I was listening to you guys, I was dropping my daughter back off at school. She came home for lunch because she liked the food there. And I was dropping her back off at school. That's all she wanted to talk about. So I got to know what's going on. And she was talking about how one of her favorite Christian influencers is on board with this supporting this white supremacist. And she's like, I don't think I can fool with her no more. And I didn't tell her she had to, but I was like, does it make you still feel comfortable listening to her? She's like, no, I don't. So then maybe you should cut it loose.
Thank you for that. Thank you. Yeah, I just want to know. Go ahead. You breaking up, babe?
No, I was saying this is definitely saying for us. Oh shit! Hold on, let me get Wi-Fi.
Oh, now you sound better.
Hello? Okay, I'm back on Wi-Fi. I said this is our new reality telling us to stay out of it. It's hard to stay out of people when you agree to this. When you see your people, it's really hard to stay out of it. So you just stay quiet and not have an opinion and let everybody rock out? Or they standing on it, so then we have to stand on something. Or we fall for everything, right?
And let them
so
build
it's
a
like,
statue.
no, we're not okay with this.
Right, exactly.
But okay, but what are you not okay with?
We're not okay with this person being praised and he had an ugly heart. I don't know where he's at right now, but on earth, he had an ugly heart. And there's footage, there's recordings that you cannot delete. It's there. And he has said things that is not okay. Christian don't want to divide. If we're going to be divided, then I don't want to be a part of Christianity, right?
Okay.
Because I'm not about division.
Walk me slow. So your thing is the push or the pushback is because the people should not help me. I'm trying to focus.
People that look like him should not be commenting on black people.
Okay.
If you want to allow people to speak on people, let black people speak on black people. Especially when you are a fucking internet, whatever you call these motherfuckers.
Oh, so the guy that was from Chicago, he's not black?
No. We're speaking on the guy that passed away.
On Charlie Kirk.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
It's not even.
So I'm not okay with that.
Yeah.
So once again, if I'm not okay with what he said, I'm not okay with the pastor standing by him. And once again, if you go underneath the comments, you're going to see a lot of black and brown also siding with that pastor. And the black and brown are also bashing Jamal and the other pastor. So to know that that's what we are around, our own people siding with this man, I'm not going to stay quiet. Whether it's a family, a friend, clubhouse, I'm not going to stay quiet. They're not staying quiet, so why should we? So I'm going to state my opinion. I don't have to put a post up to state my opinion, but we have a voice on Clubhouse, and we will use our voice if needed. And guess what? If you don't want to speak on it, you also have that right to not say anything.
Right. Some people can't post. Some people can't talk on here. Some people can only post. Some people can only talk on here. So it's like we got mobilized.
But it's like, what is next? What is next?
That's the fact.
So who's next? So we're gonna wait for another white man to pass away, for them to put the flags down, for them to praise him, for them to accuse. And then how many black and brown die and they don't do a motherfucking thing? Oh yeah, just another tombstone.
Well, okay, but wait a minute. What is wrong with them wanting to praise him if this is how they view him? I just have a problem if somebody's telling me that I have to do it. I have a problem with that. But if that's what they want to do, that's what they want to do.
Okay, so they can do that, and we could also have an opinion on what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, so Mel, the danger is that you actually give him more power by speaking about him more. The most powerful thing to do would be to act like he don't exist anymore, because he don't. So,
well, we're not talking.
Indifference would be the number one
C,
way to kill the fire.
CEO, ABC, you just came in. We're speaking on the past. We're speaking on the pastors right now. Just so happens the pastors were referring to this young man, but we definitely speaking on the pastors, because now it ain't about this guy. It's about the pastors that are preaching this type of sermon. Now that's who I have a problem with. So we're speaking on the pastors. But that was just a sermon they were speaking on, so that's what I was speaking on that.
To me, it's just the exhaustion of Christian, why are we always responsible to we just gotta be the moral backbone of everything. I just don't understand. Everybody gotta take, and then when we look at people sideways for seeing, it's no, you gotta let them live. Yeah, no, I don't really agree with that, because that shit comes back to bite us all the time. It always comes back to bite us, whether it's a law, whether it's some type of reaction, just like we seen the other day. So it's like damned if you do, damned if you don't. Now they don't want us to say nothing. So it's I don't really.
Well, what don't they want us to say?
They don't want you to say anything bad about the man. They don't want you to say anything.
Well, what's saying something bad about him? Talking about, I said, what is, okay, because this is what I think is happening. Again, I think it's a lot of communication. I've heard people come into this space. I've heard, numerous of people say, oh, people are celebrating. And then it's well, where do you see a celebration? Then when we break it down, it's not a celebration at all. But because this is what they think they hear, it continues going on. But then in the midst of that becomes a fight. So now it makes it seem like people are fighting to want to have something to say when it all is mixed up because of how somebody starts the conversation. Does that make sense in what I'm saying or no?
It makes sense, but what I'm telling you and what I've been saying is that's how it was planned out in the beginning. It's always to plan to be on a hair trigger, so that whatever we do is a balancing beam, but it's flat surface for them. That's the whole fucking plan.
But that is that not America? Y'all act like this is something new. This is always
where we couldn't speak.
We have never been fully able to exercise and do what the other side does. When is that? When has that ever been?
These are new things. You can't speak, you can't say things about events. You can't speak on how you feel about it. If you do, it has to be a certain way that lines up. That's new in my lifetime.
Okay.
And it's
even if it was going on before, it doesn't mean that it was cool. It's tiring.
So when we do it, we get fired. Not me personally, but just what we have heard. So when our side does it, we get fired, blocked. The young lady just got kicked out of Texas Tech University. So all these things happen, but they have been in the comments and doing videos and mocking multiple people that have died on our side. And nothing happens. Nobody loses their job. They don't get their page shut down.
Some people have. Not all, but some people.
I'm gonna be like that guy telling Jamal. Post it.
I'm talking about in the past that people have gotten in trouble for saying certain things. And stuff like that. I'm not talking about this specific event. I'm just saying in the past.
I don't think nothing like this though, lady. I'm gonna be honest.
I'm talking about George
Floyd. I'll bring it right to you. Gladine, the Harvard lady. These people got fired because they were sitting there trying to take sides between Israel and Palestine. Did y'all forget?
I don't want to talk about Israel and Palestine. I want to talk about black.
No. You asked me to give you an example.
No, I want to speak about the black community.
No, we're not talking about that.
She is black. She was black.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking.
But you're speaking on, they was talking about Israel. We already know when you talk about Israel, it's shut down automatically.
What my point is that it has happened before. Other people have gotten fired for saying something or doing whatever that didn't, add up to, saying what they want us to say or not want us to say. It's not the first time. That's all I'm saying. It's not the first time.
So
this happens.
So First Lady, I was going to say, most of the time when it does happen.
Yo, hold on.
Patty's talking, guys.
I feel like this is not the same, right? Because of the things that this guy has said, and then people being able to respond. Now, I don't agree with people saying, like, he should have died or Trump is next. I've seen those stupid-ass comments. I think people are crazy. Because now you're that's a terroristic threat. That's illegal. But this hasn't saying, like, some of the people, when it came to the military thing, that shit got kicked back, right? And I know that for a fact because we've been talking about that at work. That shit got kicked back because they made statements like he had divisive language, or they might have liked a fucking post. That's how fucking, and they pretty much was like, where in the Department of Defense, any type of regulation is it that we are not allowed to make these comments? They're not making those type of comments. The people that, because these have been senior leaders that actually did this. So they pretty much did exactly what Charles Q. Brown did, and people are looking at them like, oh, they're being fucking woke or whatever. But that shit went away. But this shit that's going on right now with these people reporting this and that this ain't the same.
Yeah, I'm not trying to say anything is the same. That's not the point here. I'm saying that these things.
Let me finish. This is not nothing the same. This is nobody nobody has gotten fired for fucking stating a simple opinion. The terroristic threats, got it. Those people that got fired were people that may have said niggers, called little black kids niggas, did crazy shit like little kids selling fucking water outside trying to get the kid arrested. Those people have gotten fired. Or fucking said something that was really egregious. This shit is not egregious. This is the truth. When do you get fired for fucking stating facts? This is crazy. Facts. Now, if we're getting fired, if people are going to get fired for facts, whoever yesterday said something about look at your goddamn handbook and sue the fucking company, that's if I were y'all, I'd sue that fucking company. I wouldn't even go back.
Were y'all talking about the LGBTQ at all?
Huh?
Okay, I was just wondering why Q and Pure Blood was talking. Two straight men were talking about LGBTQ things, and nobody was talking about that.
They're upset.
They like you, Jess. I think a lady want to say something, babe. Go ahead.
No, I don't have nothing to say because again, I'm not. Somebody asked me a question, answered. I'm not saying that they're the same. By no means necessary. I'm not going to argue about this. I'm just not. I don't want to argue. I'm trying to get us away from arguing. So I'm not going to add to something that will cause an argument. I said what I said. I mean, I don't see, when Jamal asked the question, is this how we see Christendom? And I don't see it being that way. I don't see that those type of words or rhetoric and dividing people, causing other people to hate one another is something that is of God, period. Whatever faith you follow, whether that be Muslim, whether that be Hindu, whatever, and all different faiths, none of that is taught. None. So all that dividing and wanting somebody else to dislike somebody and speaking such words is not of God. And from my point of view, so I was just asking other people how they feel about that. Is that how you see, Christendom?
I think
That was the question.
So I think that I guess passion that you feel about it is because it it's just unfair. And so even if there is a side to be spoken for on the other side, it's so lopsided. And I think people are just so tired of seeing, this shit be unfair. And so even if you're not trying to make a case, when you bring up something from the others, it seems that way, even if it's not. And especially in the heat of the moment and like what's going on right now, people get passionate about that. So I don't think it's going to be an argument. I just think that people are like very I think people are like super sensitive, especially because now, it's almost like, damn, we can't even like talk. We can't, like, we already under kind of like a regime or administration that we don't really care for. And now it's like we can't even speak about it. And it didn't just start with Charlie Kirk. It was leading up to that. And now the Charlie Kirk thing is like, they're like putting their foot down and like, it's wild. And then we gotta watch shit like J.D. Vance get up on stage and say he never said that about black women. Nigga, we watched it. And so it's frustrating.
Wait a minute. Thank you for that. Who was getting ready to speak? Who was?
No, I wasn't.
Oh, Brian. Wait a minute, Mr. Brian.
In the background. No, I was saying the same thing. I was saying we can pull it up online. We're not stupid. Like, that's the part that makes me mad, is when you play in our face like we can't just pull this up.
Right. Thank you for that piece of it leading up to, because that's what I was trying to say. This has been leading up to this and is going to continuously lead up to something else. So for me, just when I'm talking from the point of, why do what they want you to do? This is what they want, the fight. And I'm asking, why are we giving them what they want?
Because it's a matter of, I think, position. And for some people, their life or their livelihood or their future may depend on what happens, or they may see it that way, or, whatever the case may be. So, or people like me, I guess you could just call me like a pro-blacker. Like, it like irritates me that black people just get treated, not even just black people, everybody else gets treated that way. And, white people that agree with us get treated a different way. It's like, come on, bro. Like, if y'all got the presidency, you knew people wasn't gonna like you. You know what I'm saying? We gotta live through it. We've accepted that. Nobody took over nothing. Nobody did anything wild. So, but y'all did. So it's like, ever since, because y'all acted up, y'all want to pin something on this side so bad. We are chilling. We don't like you, but we're chilling. Nobody's doing anything. So it's like, it's just a lot of tension. And if you know what I'm saying, if that's not your position all the way, then you may be able to see it from a different position or be calmer about it. That's what I think.
Okay. I mean, and I'm okay with you being that way. I don't understand why y'all be getting mad with me because I am who I am. I don't understand that, Trust. Tell me why I can accept you for who you are, but you can't accept me for who I am.
It's like when you're trying to talk to somebody while they mad. It's not that. It's just like you trying to say, have you ever been mad and somebody like, no, but just calm down and try to, and you like, bitch, get the fuck out my face. Like, I don't want to calm down. That's just like, that's how it is. And then you come back and you be like, I'm sorry, I just hadn't eaten or whatever. So you like, it's just like that. It's like nobody is really Only time it makes me mad at other black people is when they do the whole like Omari thing. Like they try to like do this like whole look, if I don't like somebody, I'm allowed to not like somebody. If I said I don't want the man shot, I feel that way too. People are allowed, don't try to define me or, you know, put your shit on me. So it's just like, I think people, it's just like a heightened emotion. I don't think really, you could rock out. You could be Gandhi. We cool. You just got
Not I could be Gandhi. No, who's that trying to get in?
No, go ahead.
And y'all still gonna be.
I just want to get some. I don't know if he's on. I don't know if he's on topic, or I was gonna get some breaking news. So yeah.
Okay, so yeah, we can get some breaking news. I just want to welcome a few people to the stage. First of all, let me just give some honorable mentions. Ray has been doing a great job. He must be asleep. I haven't heard a word from him. Welcome, Brian. You came to class again too late. I don't understand why you keep coming into class late.
I'm on the West Coast.
I blame it on the rain. Aleph, thank you for joining. You have joined the stage several times a day. You can't keep still. Your ADHD continues to act up. Mr. Q is on the stage. He has been lighting up the chat. Before you speak, I need to pray because I need to make sure that you do not set the stage on fire. Thank you. Scott, I don't know you.
I got baptisms for anybody that wants to set the stage on fire. Trust me, I'm right beside you. My hand is on your back, and I'm ready for you. I'm ready. I got the blanket in my hand and all. I'm ready for you.
Tara, I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce your name, but welcome to the stage. I see you have no followers. I'm assuming that you possibly could be a burner or something else. I'm not sure. But Gemini, you have breaking news. One mic on you.
Yeah, real quick. I don't know if it's already been discussed. If so, stop me. But Trump just signed in the Memphis Safe Task Force for Crime Crackdown today. He signed a memorandum to establish the Memphis Safe Task Force. This is framed as a part of a broader strategy to reduce urban violence, modeled after a federal crime crackdown in Washington, D.C. He also indicated similar efforts might be coming to other cities, i.e. Chicago. National Guard deployment. Trump announced he plans to send the National Guard to Memphis. He described the city as quote unquote deeply troubled and said the move is part of the administration's efforts to address violent urban crime. The Tennessee governor, Bill Lee, a Republican, reportedly supports the move. Memphis's mayor, Paul Young, a Democrat, has expressed concern and said he did not ask for the National Guard deployment and doubts it's the best approach.
Do y'all agree with that, or do y'all have solutions if y'all don't agree with it? Like usually people disagree with don't got solutions.
Better policing.
First, I think
That's a solution.
I think we need to understand what the memo is. Now, if you understand what is in the memo or know what the memo is about, like, has anybody read the memo?
No, just got the news.
Just now.
So I don't know why this dude would access how we feel about it. Like, I think he's just baiting an argument.
No,
exactly.
No, because I've already read about the news. Is what I'm saying.
I'm not talking about
well, enlighten us.
Because I said it earlier. I've read it earlier too. And I read it. I seen it earlier too. I seen it when he did it live on TV.
Yeah, he did it live. It was a live press conference.
Oh yeah, First Lady. I'm going all the way back to DC when he did this. He did this in DC.
We're not talking about DC. We're talking about the Memphis memo. You keep bringing up DC. I don't want nobody in this room to bring up the district. The district has a totally different set of rules. We're talking about a fucking state.
But Memphis don't assault someone's intelligence if you don't know what they read.
A state that has a constitution. Each of these states have their own constitution. So maybe we need to investigate this memo first before we go commenting on some stupid shit.
Well, you said you read it, so enlighten us then.
I didn't say I read the memo.
You said you're knowledgeable about it, so don't talk to us like we ignorant.
I watched the news too when it got signed. Since you read it, why don't you tell us what it says?
You said you... Yeah,
I didn't say I read it. I didn't say one time.
No, I'm just saying Gemini just brought it up, so let's not silence what he said. We don't have a conversation or not.
We're not silencing. What I'm saying is you trying to ask us like if it's a bad thing, good thing. I don't know. Gemini, do you know?
Speaking for the
No, I looked for the memo. I looked for the memorandum, and they said that I looked for the memorandum, and they said it hasn't been published yet.
So what are we going to comment on, though, Scott?
Right.
Other than
So that's the reason why it was a little tricky, Scott, because.
Well, no, first, like I still got feelings about it, right? If he's gonna send them, like, why are you out of all the cities? Memphis, you know, I'm just saying that don't mean I don't got feelings because
So tell
the
us your
memorandum
feelings.
hasn't come out, right?
Come sit on the couch. It's velvet. Tell us your feelings. Tell us your feelings. Go.
Oh, we gaslight.
This is what I have found so far, y'all, and y'all tell me if it sounds fucked up, right? It says the task force is to use hypervigilant policing, aggressive prosecution, complex investigations, financial enforcement, and large-scale saturation of besieged neighborhoods amongst its strategies. The Secretary of War is authorized to request that the governor of Tennessee make National Guard units available. It just says request. So Hegseth can request, say, hey, homie. Doesn't say he has to force it. They can request that the governor of Tennessee makes National Guard units available, which we know who the governor of Tennessee is. Also, to coordinate mobilization with other states if needed. It explicitly states it is not meant to create enforceable legal rights or benefits for individuals against the U.S., its departments, etc. So
Who does he have to request? You said the governor?
Right.
So they have to ask Bill Lee, who's a Republican, who's already on board.
Right, pretty much. Who's going to say yeah? So the mayor could cry and be upset, but guess what? If the governor is on board, ain't shit you can do.
Yeah, that's what I was just saying. Like, the governor is already on board. He's surfing, so like if he gets requested, it's going to be pretty much a guaranteed yes.
And this ain't even the memo. This is just bits and pieces of what they say the memo is about. So like I don't know if people be trying to trick us into these arguments or something, but I don't be on it.
I just want to I just thought it was interesting breaking news because
I didn't know that till you said it. Like,
yeah, I just found it interesting because I watched it happen here. I'm in LA, so I watched it happen here. Then we seen what he did in DC, and it seems like this is going to be a pattern now, right? It seems like he's going to go from, and that's one of the things he did state in the press conference is that he intends to do it in
try Chicago, but fail, right?
Like
Was he trying Chicago?
No, he's still saying that. He said that in the press conference today. He said he still intends on addressing Chicago.
I think you're
DC's kind of different. That's why I hate when people bring up DC because, like, even with DC, it's like we can't even have the same argument of what's going on in either.
No, I was literally reading when I brought up DC just for the record.
It did come up about California, right? And then that judge had said it was illegal, so they had to pull the National Guard back. But then they granted a stay. So
yeah, I'm about to say they never retracted the troops, even though the judge said that everything went on business.
That's because they appealed, and when they appealed, they granted a stay. So until it sees the higher courts, right now they're like that's really weird too. Like, if it is possibly illegal, I don't know why the grant of stay is allowing them to still conduct operations.
Yeah.
And I think one of the arguments that has been presented has something to do with the executive branch being like the head of the country. So they're just trying to appease the executive branch. But I still think this is that's a terrible move.
I agree.
I posted
don't
memorandum in the chat.
Let me ask y'all this. All right, like, just to put this completely into context and we can take a step back. We don't have the memorandum. We had the live press conference that he had and the statements that were derived from that. But if you're looking at the big picture, in my opinion, let me qualify it with that first. In my opinion, it seems like a pattern that he's trying to establish of big government, like government overriding local government. And right now, I think he chose Memphis because he knows he has a Bill Lee there that's a Republican that's going to not give him the same pushback that a Gavin did, right? So he can pretty much do this same play without going through the court system, even though the court system only temporarily stalled him over here anyway. You know what I mean? So I'm kind of concerned, not just for Memphis, and the fact that they're saying urban, which means black in my mind. Like when I hear urban, we're going after this urban violence, we're going after niggas. That's what I hear. And when you start doing that, I really feel like that's going to be a pattern that's going to be spread even further in his weird power grab that he's doing. Right? I feel like it's a pattern. That's all I'm trying to say.
I agree. When I heard the urban part, I was like, wait a minute, huh? What's going on? So, what that mean?
I mean, what she described was stop and frisk. The word she used, I mean, that's just like an updated version of stop and frisk. I don't like the way it sounds, even without the national on it. It sounds like it's gonna be. I mean, and it probably will work, but they're going to put everybody in jail for every little fucking thing.
So then I would not want to see that.
So they're targeting black cities and red states, it looks like, or Republican governors, urban cities and red states.
I mean, I guess the states that will
look at the
has the most ease getting in.
Exactly. That's what I was trying to say.
Tennessee was probably really easy.
So I found something else that actually breaks it down. So they were talking about the hypervigilant policing, and it says how the memo's language connects. The hypervigilant policing is going to be surveillance and proactive stops in targeted areas. The large-scale saturation means more officers, more patrols. The aggressive prosecution and complex investigation is it points towards charging strategies, gang-related or conspiracies types cases, not financial enforcement, aimed at cutting off funding streams for gangs, cartels, more like RICO or anti-money laundering than street stops. So, I don't know.
Important to note that the National Guard cannot arrest anyone. They will not be stopping and frisking you. That's not true. They don't have the power.
We're not talking about the National Guard. We're not talking about the National Guard.
Actually,
so what's the issue? The police are already there. Like, what's the difference?
Heightened police presence, surveillance.
Exactly. We get it in New York. We're from New York, so we know, we've seen where.
Yeah, those are code words, but
Now, like, we're from New York. Now, there was a time when they fucking had police on every fucking corner. You couldn't walk, you couldn't turn a corner and not see a police officer.
No,
so,
I understand. I get it. I got family.
And on top of that, I got a lot of family in New York. They were talking about the jump out boys. They had the people that would just jump out.
Yeah.
You know.
Jump out the cabs, jump out the vans.
Yeah, and run down on shit.
Throwing you on the floor, the car, the freaking wall.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie though.
My position at the end of the day, we know in our communities we didn't bring these drugs over here. So if y'all brought them over here, which we know from the Iran-Contra matter, we know that. It's documented fact. They need to come help get them out of our communities. They've devastated our communities, so they need to come help get them out. I mean, at the end of the day, you brought them over here, right? We didn't have laboratories to cook up crack. We didn't have AKs and all the time. Somebody brought that. It's been documented this happened. So if y'all brought this over here, then help us get it out, because we do need people who had laboratories to cook up crack. We didn't have the recipe.
What do you mean, regular citizens?
What's going on here?
Lord, I didn't pray. Fuck up in the name of Jesus.
Yeah,
we got this conversation.
Let's do this breathing exercise real quick, because now we're going into Hotep territory.
Yeah, I was trying to stick to the facts. That's why I just read the facts, man.
Right.
One way or another, these urban centers need help. I mean, the people who live there. Last time I was in Memphis, somebody died in the house next door. Memphis is off the chain. They just stay about 2-3 days, and you realize they definitely need some help. I don't know if this is the total answer, but we can't go and do social programs.
They need help, but they don't need the government to get involved. They could do this locally, man.
So I think that memo is about local and then adding national.
No, there's no precedent for what you're saying. There's no precedent for what you're saying. It hasn't been done. Memphis has got progressively worse and worse and worse and worse.
They said they had a 44% crime decrease this year. I mean, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's what they said.
Yeah, I mean, but going from 1,000% to 500, I mean, it's still terrible.
You don't. Small sample size.
Something's working.
But that's
Something's
a decline.
working. You got to remember that a lot of people are poor in fucking Memphis too. So something's working, right? So like, why can't we take our wins and go with our wins? Now that's one thing I'm gonna jump on ladies' boat with. Why we can't take our wins, look at what's working, and maybe just keep working towards it better. Like the policing thing. I don't know, y'all.
Because the people who live there will tell you it's not working. Y'all can pull numbers all you want to it and use, extrinsic data, but at the end of the day, the people who live there are suffering. Really, really suffering.
I'm looking at this, right? Like, I'm sitting here feeling no feelings. I'm a robot right now, bro. I'm just looking at stats and facts, right? And it says that there's been a significant decrease in crime in Memphis in 2025 compared to prior years. Here are the key points. 25-year low in major crime categories. The Memphis Police Department reports for the first 8 months of 2025, overall crime is down to its lowest level in 25 years across many major categories, including robbery, burglary, and larceny. Violent crimes down, including homicide down to a 6-year low, aggravated assault down to a 5-year low, sexual assault down to a 20-year low. Year-over-year drops compared to the same period in 2024. Crime incidents are roughly down 23% in 2025 as of August. Compared to 2023, crime is down about 37% in the same time period. So they're doing something right, bro. Like
I can tell you what they're doing. Well, I can tell you what they're doing because I do this work, right? And in our neighborhood in West Las Vegas, we had a park right next to our church, right? In this church, black women's bodies was being dumped inside of the park. What the police chief did was call them suicides. We knew that there was bad dope on the street, so we went to Fox 5 and we raised holy hell to say these black women are dying, right? These are murders. Exactly what they are. What they do is they miscategorize crime to get these numbers down, and then we sit here instead of dealing with people who really live there. We just use, empirical data as if things are getting better, and they're not. All they're doing is miscategorizing crimes, especially when it comes.
Yeah, we need solution.
Ray woke up. First Lady Ray woke up.
We know these people are getting murdered.
Yeah.
We know they're.
Yeah, you're not.
I got a question.
Go ahead, Ray.
What would you categorize a drug overdose as? You would categorize a drug overdose as a murder?
Well, when you know you're giving it to somebody on purpose, which is not suicide. Absolutely. I was just using the bad dope as an example. There were.
Let's stop right there. That's got to be a bad example because the worst you could be charged with if you were to provide bad dope is not murder. That's not murder. That would be involuntary manslaughter or manslaughter.
And that's the problem.
So you're not being accurate with the numbers. And they said murder is down. It's at a 6-year low.
So
that's a problem.
And
if you don't believe criminals, you believe these white folks stats, and you don't believe they miscategorize in urban areas, they miscategorize.
They would love to make the urban areas sound worse, not better.
So
no, that's not true. They wanted to sound better so they can get reelected.
And also so they cannot
look better.
Okay, so they can also not put numbers so they cannot have to send resources. You guys understand that? So I agree with some and half and half, 50-50 of what's being said because the numbers have been found to have been fudged when it's dealing with urban areas. And then too, it's everybody's perception of their crime in their neighborhood. And you're not going to be able to change people's perception if they don't feel safe.
I just think this conversation is sir. You always start with this empirical data, and then when I start pressing you, you don't have it. So, what you're saying is okay, sir. Please, I'm really trying to what's that, bro? All right, so. You in all these things, bad dope, Are you interested in doing anything about the causes of these things, or are you just? Bitch, if you don't shut the fuck up.
You just asked me a question.
Shut up! I'm not done. Shut up.
All right, look.
The fuck is wrong? Bitch, you a big girl. I'm a little girl. You're a big girl. Now, do you want to do this? Bitch, you already know how I give it up. Stop playing with me, big bitch.
I know how you give it up. You been right over.
All right, so stop. So shut the fuck up, bitch. You're from Vegas.
All right.
A corny ass bitch anyway. So, all right, so tell Big Face to leave me alone.
Okay.
All right, so let me get
leave
my
him
shit
alone.
All right, so you keep saying all of this stuff about empirical data. What I'm talking about is changing the environment, changing the resources, the access. So maybe you don't raise little drug dealers. Maybe because drug dealing is something that people usually do to get resources because they are desperate. But you're not talking about that. And this is what I hate about black people. Y'all come in here, y'all want to shit on other black people, but talk about no solutions about lifting them up. You just want, let's punish all the black people. They doing this. So then what the fuck gonna happen to the next generation that's raised up in the same type of environment without the same resources? You just gonna get another crop of fucking criminals. Y'all niggas don't care. You just hate yourself.
Or the drug users. Let's address that.
If I can respond, I started off by saying, in my neighborhood, right, it's my hood that I personally serve. The average median income in my neighborhood, because we've tried to establish several businesses there, one being a UPS store, is $23,000 for a family of 4 or 5 for the black community. So we out here doing the work. We got that. We have the real empirical data, and we understand the environment that causes crime to flourish. What I'm saying is we can't bring all these social programs where there is no safety. When I have to do a funeral as a pastor and I got to stop the Bloods from coming up to shoot up the funeral and the Crips, and I got to get the Black Panthers to stay in the corner, we really out here doing this work. And I just don't want y'all to forget, you can read all the numbers that you want, but people are still people. There are people who are living in
But you using your empirical data.
That's all I'm saying.
Post a video where you held the Black Panthers and the Bloods off, because you just got that from a movie. I would love that. Like y'all crazy coming up shit. That shit would have been on CNN like a bitch. Do you think if a pastor went outside and kept the Black Panthers? No, for real, y'all. If CNN would, if the Black Panthers was at one end of the block, it's a funeral home or a church in the middle, and the Bloods and the Crips is at the other. Do y'all not think that wouldn't have been on CNN or some fucking thing? Y'all gotta come on. I just want my people to wisen up and notice the snakes.
I appreciate you for pointing that out, Just. I hate Clubhouse.
Some of us out here don't do it. We don't do it for that.
I definitely hate Clubhouse.
These things are really going on. These things are really going on in the neighborhood. I come from East Baltimore, where the kids are already hooked on heroin and everything else. We can't forget the people. You can read the numbers all you want.
Okay, great. I'm glad you. I'm glad. Okay, good. So, and this is conversational. I had a little spaz out. I just got off work. Just give me a second. So look, you said East Baltimore, right? So explain. So you from East Baltimore, you know that. So then you know that the black mayor, the young black mayor, has gone there, and they have crime rates lower than they've been ever since they started recording crime. So there are things that are working without the intervention of government, but they're using common sense and people from the community that know how the community works to solve crime, to bring in resources. You haven't said anything about that. This y'all get me like this because y'all be saying, I love black people and all this other stuff. You don't talk about if you're from Baltimore, you should know about that, right?
Ray, do you live in Memphis? Do you operate in Memphis?
He operates out of California with the Bloods and Crips, out of Baltimore and Memphis.
And don't forget Georgia, because he said last time.
So why is he speaking on Memphis like he knows more than us? Like, I don't get it.
Hold on. It's too many people talking. First of all, Tiffany came on stage to speak. When Q was talking, I heard him mention Vegas. He never said anything about Memphis. If I'm
he just mentioned it right now.
Okay.
Well, I said when I was there, I had a young man die.
And then he said, if you know anything about
Last time you was here, you was claiming Georgia. So we just getting everything straight on every city you claiming.
So you're think up.
Wait.
He's a man about town.
He be on the block. He used to be on the block on the drugs and not his signature life.
Right. So Q, let me ask you this.
So you all can understand. I have an organization called Hope for the Hood. We go to every urban area in the South. We show up.
Okay, all
I
right.
have a link on top if you could head over to Mississippi because they just hung a young man on a tree. So the link up on top so you can send your organization over to Mississippi.
It's called
Thank
Hope
you.
for the Hood. It's called Hope for the Hood.
So Q, you're telling me. Well, give me 1 second, Q. So you telling me that I just read all the stats and facts that they had as far as the relevant crimes and the current rates in comparison and context to the past.